Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo. This is our MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and online. We have many different events online, and tonight is one of our panels. We have a theme every time we have a panel, and we have practitioners on the panel answering questions from the audience. Tonight's theme is paganism and ecotherapy. There are 5 of us here that will be answering your questions. We'll go through and introduce ourselves, tell you a bit about who we are, how we practice, then we'll talk about the theme, and then we'll be available to answer your questions. I'll put the information in the chat again about how you can get lined up to ask a question if you would like to do that tonight. And and we'll do a little bit of container setting before we jump into questions. It's a great opportunity to practice opening to your intuition. You might want to get a pen and write and scribble and draw everything that comes up tonight and see if what comes through you is similar to things that we share. All right, well, let's see. So practitioners, do maybe let's just go ahead and we'll do a similar order as before. So I think Sadie, Henry, Susy, Iridescent, and myself. All right, so go ahead and take a couple of minutes and share about you. And if the theme is all integrated into your work, feel free to talk about that. Just know we're going to come back and do a round and talk about the theme too. All right, go ahead.
Hi there, my name's Sadie. I'm with Healing Sacred Feminine. I'm super passionate about clearing ancestral trauma from ourselves and from the land. And I do this through a number of practices, shamanic practices, sound healing, and crystal therapy, really reconnecting to the earth through these practices, utilizing a lot of earth elements for healing. I think one of the big issues of our time is our disconnection from the earth and the separation from that, and the feminine energies. There's a really big imbalance, and I feel that returning to the earth and utilizing the earth for healing is a big part of this clearing and our healing process. So I'm excited to be here this evening. I think these are really important topics, and the more we can talk about returning to the earth and the imbalance that we're finding, and recognizing the trauma that is on the land and that we're carrying. I mean, it's all one unit. We have this separation, this feeling of separation, that we're not a part of nature, that we're disconnected from the land, and I think that's a big part of the problem. One thing I feel like, gosh, it was just there and now it's left. Yeah, exactly. There it went. So it was all eloquent in my head earlier. Shoot, what was that? That's okay. Anyway, yeah, okay. I'll just leave it with that. I guess it's not coming through right now. So you can find out more about me at www.healingsacredfeminine.com. Yeah, apparently that's where we're at. So
Did you want to say a little bit about what inspired you to do this work?
um, yeah, the ongoing trauma, the generational trauma that's been passed on through really a lot of abuse and war that's happened. You know, we're all dealing with these traumatic energies, and it is heavy on the land. And I think that's what I was talking or getting to earlier, like the clearing, the healing of ourselves is, or a healing of the land is a healing of ourselves, and vice versa. We are not separate. So trying to work with one and not the other, it doesn't work. Or feeling like we're so separate is is the disconnect. That's the problem. And a real returning to a healthy sacred feminine and a healthy sacred masculine, those energies, is returning to the earth. I don't know what's going on. I am not articulating tonight at all. So thanks, everybody. Hopefully that clears up as we get going. So I don't know. Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks so much, Sadie. We get around to come back and talk more.
Thank you.
Henry.
I feel you, Sadie. I always know exactly what I want to say until it's this moment. So I wrote it down and I'm looking at it right now, and hopefully this helps me. So yeah, it's really intertwined. Tonight's theme is really intertwined with what I do. I started out as a counselor, then I became a life coach, and then this early this year, I took a course in ecopsychology at Pacifica University, and discovered that I've been an ecotherapist all along. And so I'm an ecotherapist, life coach, and spiritual healer. Spiritual healing runs in my family. I had the privilege of my mom being a spiritual healer, being a mystic. And so she kind of passed this on to me. It's really great because you get to stay home from school and not feel sick. I always loved that. And I also use the tarot, not as divination, but as a wonderful guidance that gets past the intellect, that gatekeeping that we have of, is that true, and what is true, and does this make sense? That kind of is a filter that can get in the way. And the amazing technology of the tarot kind of just gets us past that. So with tonight's theme, just exactly like what Sadie was saying. So what happened is that thousands of years ago, we began this slow process away from our home. Our home is this world. When we started having agriculture, we began to see the things we were growing as objects that belonged to us rather than beings with their own spirit that we were interacting with and that fed us, or from which we fed ourselves. And this subtle change eventually became this change where we now don't even feel we're part of nature, and we're holed up in our houses and hardly sometimes don't ever even smell the air and take the time and feel the grass under our feet. And especially we've lost this wisdom and knowledge that I'm looking out here because this is where all my trees are, right on the other side of this window, that all of these are not objects, but that they are sentient, conscious, soulful, connected beings. And they're just not human beings. They're tree beings, for example, right here, my plum tree. And so what that led to is that psychotherapy, as well as counseling, as well as spiritual or religious guidance, got disconnected as well. And so basically we're trying to solve our problems and find solutions and figure out what our purpose is, or what the steps are to build our business or our relationships. We're looking for those in our heads, in our hearts, and so our emotions and our thinking. And then we are led by today's healers, like therapists, to do that because they have lost that connection themselves. And so ecotherapy just reminds us, hey, actually all the wisdom that you need, all the solutions, all the inspiration that you need is right there, right around you. It usually looks green or some such natural thing. And so in ecotherapy, we reconnect with our true home, which is what this world is, what Mama Gaia is. And so you can find out if we're a good fit, if you want to work with me at the end of this evening. If you have some questions that you want to delve into, I'm at henryindiaholden.com. And I have a free 30-minute session that you can set up. There's a link in the chat where you can just find out if we are a good fit. And is there anything else I wanted to say? I think I've probably said enough, other than it's a privilege to be here. I love these other healers and guides. And thank you, Laureli, and welcome everyone. And I just can't wait to hear your questions and see how I can be of service. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Henry. Susie's next.
Hi, y'all. I'm Susy Parker Goins at Blue Lightning Healing. You can go to bluelightninghealing.com. There, we got that out of the way. So for me, I grew up Catholic, and so I did all of those ritual things. And so when I left the church and started focusing on an earth-centered lifestyle, I don't do the rituals. I would love to, and there are times I will stand outside and just go, La Bella Luna, when I've got a full moon, or talk. And I use my intention in making my magic happen. My connection to earth manifests in ways like I don't always go out and hug a tree, but I do listen to the waters. I love listening to the rain. I hang my laundry out to dry. That for me is a connection. I'm out there barefoot, hanging out my wash and honoring the sun and honoring the earth in other ways. That path that helped me to realize actually how limiting for me a church situation was. It started slowly and then it just gathered speed. So I started reading tarot and tossing cards and reading for my friends in the office, you know. And then I moved on and started doing past life exploration, which, you know, there's going to be a panel for that in July. And that just blew open the doors on looking at this spirituality. So I don't ascribe to any religion. Yeah, I've got 2 cords and a witchcraft thing. But for me, it's like the magic is within me. And that for me is honoring myself and honoring the earth. Gaia is one of my favorite guides to channel. She's amazing. And so keeping in touch with the earth that way is what I do. Yes, I have my crystals. Yes, I do that. And I will sit outside when I can, and, you know, talk to the earth when I'm walking the dog or whatever. But for me, spirituality is not to be confined by a label, by a book, or by a building. For me, being in connection with source means I can bring it through and be that channel and bring source through in such a way that makes it accessible to you, that makes you comfortable, so you can talk to them. I have been known to ask the questions of somebody's guide, and even to, you know, call them out on something that's not acceptable, because we are source. I'm just bringing through an aspect of source that's accessible to you, but it's still bringing in your heart and your soul components. So I'm excited to be here because, you know, I'm fascinated by this topic of ecotherapy. I looked it up and went, I can't wrap my head around it. So I know we have practitioners here, Henry, for example, they'll certainly give us a lovely explanation on what it is, and being grounded and understanding how marvelous this whole world is. We've just got to find our place in it, find our heart in it. So I've got a special of 20% off any session. If you're in the Puget Sound area, you can see me on Thursdays on my office hours in Edmonds. And I think that's what I've got right now. I'm excited to be a part of this. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, Susie. Iridescent.
Hi, everybody. My name is Iridescent with Iridescent Tarot. I am a intuitive psychic. So yeah, a little bit about my journey. When I've been very tapped into my psychic abilities since as long as I can remember. So as a kid, I didn't fully understand that that was what I was necessarily tapping into. And so my favorite way to kind of manifest those abilities was really having a deep connection with the earth as a child. So we lived out in the country in a small Florida town. So I spent about 99% of my time in the creek, interacting with animals. I've always had a very deep connection with them. It's my guide's favorite way to communicate with me because it really just sparks a lot of magic and life into my life. And so as I went along, you know, at first I thought I wanted to be like a vet surgeon, you know, still very much in before my awakening. And as I went through college and the universe kind of started guiding me to start utilizing my psychic powers to help activate and awaken other beings, I found myself in the natural resource conservation field, which is what I ultimately graduated in. And I love that because it really taught me how to look after the land on a more informational, scientific way, which has helped me kind of find that duality and balance of now using my abilities with psychic and intuition, plus like being able, especially for people who are newer into the psychic world and maybe aren't as familiar with those kinds of terminologies or theories, helping break it down in a more practical, scientific way as well. And so it's a really cool, there's a language for it for everyone. You know, your guides are going to definitely channel this information in a way that is exciting for you and magical for you. And so for me, kind of like Susie was saying, I just love learning. I grew up Catholic as well, but I don't follow any religion or tradition specifically. I utilize all of it because this information is for us to access these deeper ancient knowledges. And so that kind of leads into what I use tarot and this other modality that I just graduated in called dream porting. I use the tarot to just really kind of anchor into your intuition and help you bring out what is manifesting currently in your life, depending on what your goals and situations are. We can kind of use the cards to see the best way to handle different situations. I like it because it's a very tangible, like physical way you can see and kind of digest what's going on in your energetic circle. And then with dream porting, it's more about getting to the deeper roots of issues that maybe have been manifesting over a longer period of time. So it's really magical because once we find that root, you're able to quantum leap into that next level of ascension, and really start seeing those manifestations come in super fast. So it's truly magic, and I have so much fun doing it and exploring it with other people. So I'm offering 25% off both tarot reading and dream porting reading. You can find those coupon codes in the chat. And in order to use it, just reach out to me either at my email at theiridescenttarot@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram at iridescent_tarot. I'm currently also exploring the Celtic paganism path and Celtic shamanism. I'm learning the Irish language to really like get to the root of where this information comes from. I'm not fluent by any means, but I've been practicing for a few months now, so I have a good foundation. So if anyone out there is an inspiring Irish learner, or, you know, I'm really excited about the paganism topic in general, because before I got into Irish paganism, which I picked that through my ancestry, I want to get closer to my ancestors. I've been studying all sorts of traditions. So I'm really excited about this topic. I love the environment. I love this earth. I love healing. I love therapy. So I feel like this panel is going to be really exciting, and I look forward to connecting with you all.
Thanks so much, Iridescent. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. In terms of my eye readings, I read your eyes, I read your soul, and I answer questions about your soul, your path, your purpose, career path, relationships. I use this work for matchmaking, helping you find soul's eyes that are a good match for whatever you're wanting to do, be it romance or business, etc. Friends, roommates, all kinds of different things. Just as I read your eyes, I also read your body. Your body is giving information all the time. When you get an itch, you might think it's just an itch, but really, it's your body giving you a message. Pay attention to something. And if you know the map of your body, you might know what it means, and to ask yourself questions and find ways to honor yourself more and more. So I'm reading the whole body, really, focusing on the eyes in many ways. I was a biologist long ago. I so appreciate the natural world. Think about childhood and going back to lots of things were very hard. People were scary in some ways, right? I had to learn to watch people really carefully, which is part of now my practice. And one of my favorite things was laying in the grass, staring at the sky, watching the clouds and playing with my bunny. So the natural world has been a place where I relax and I trust the natural world. I feel like so many answers are here, so many ways that we might live healthier than we do. I believe in non-dualism and aspects of Wicca, paganism, all connected to the natural world and information and answers and guidance. Like all kinds of insight for how to treat each other well, how to honor the resources, to honor all of us that we are. Oh, and I guess I saw the Ecotherapy email go by and sent it to Henry. I feel connected to Henry having done the training too, even though I didn't go. Like I just hearing about it, knowing about it, and yeah, so excited. Oh goodness. And I happen to live in a beautiful spot. I'm in a log cabin, probably with trees that were built, or trees that were not built, trees that were growing here that are now my house. And right, I'm here outside Seattle in the foothills. And while I sit here in the log cabin, I'll just give a little bit of a sample of my girlfriend's adventure this weekend. So out in nature, which is totally therapeutic for her. Maybe I should say too, I study with a number of somatic psychotherapists. So while I am not a therapist, I'm informed in a number of ways in my work. She went on a backpacking trip with a trail that seemed like it was going to be okay. They drove up to the pass and were walking down to our house. Well, it turned out that there's a stream, a river crossing that wasn't on the map. And so I think up to like her chest in water, and clinging onto logs to get over part of the water. And the trail got washed out by a mudslide last year. We think that's what happened. There was no trail for 6 hours of their adventure. Fortunately, she was with someone else that was taller too. And so she talked about crawling along the ground in medicinal plants, clearly medicinal plants based on the smell. Yeah, just having to go under logs and all kinds of things. I'll give you another example of just the beauty of nature too. And I need to follow through with this one. I have a bunch of bug bites right now, and there's a weed that grows prolifically right outside. So one idea is that all that we need for health, for healing is all right there, wherever we are. So I have a bunch of bug bites here, and the weed is growing that if I just munch this weed, chew it up a bit and stick it on my bug bites, I won't be itching anymore. So maybe I'll take a break and go do that in the middle of the panel. Oh, so yeah, there's so much here in nature that, yeah, so I love that I sit by a window and I'm with nature all the time, even if I'm inside. So just all kinds of things we can do for ourselves all the time. All right, you all talked about the theme a bit, so I talked about the theme a bit. All right, let's see. So I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach, and you can learn more about me at laurelishimayo.com, Laurelishimayo.com, and I'm offering 40% off approximately my sessions if you sign up for something, your first sessions with me, if you sign up for being here at the panel. I will put the basic information about all of us in the chat again, and all the contact info for all of us and our specials. And then practitioners, anything else you want to say about the theme today, paganism and ecotherapy? Anyone wants to say something else, go ahead and jump in. Often hearing ourselves, each other speak, we think of other things to share. Anyone have anything else? And by the way, just for all of you, if you're thinking about asking a question tonight, you can ask a question on anything. It does not have to be directly connected to the theme. We will use many other resources besides the theme to answer your questions. So yeah, just be thinking about what you might want to ask tonight. Yeah, anyone else want to say anything about the theme or your backgrounds too, if you thought of something else that you want to share?
Just listening to you speak, Lorelei, about the plants being out in nature that are there to heal, and the story that you shared about your girlfriend out in nature, and just like it's tumultuous, and it's not just necessarily this beautiful thing. There's so many lessons to learn out there, and last time I went out recently out to this wetland preserve around here, and was just out there roaming around and laying there and hanging out, and coming across a lot of dead things like carcasses that were, I assume maybe it was other animals eating them. I don't know. Of course, I wasn't there when it happened, but just as I was there looking at all this beauty and just the beauty of the decay, there's all this dead stuff around. There's dead plants, there's dead leaves, there's growing leaves, and there's dead animals, and there's live animals. I mean, it's just all the things, and it was just this beautiful, gorgeous symphony of everything, and it really helped me to get in touch with, like, it's all the things. It's the polarity, and there's beauty in all of it. And when we get attached to it being one thing or the other, or labeling it as, positive or negative, good or bad, that's when we start creating issues for ourselves, because nature doesn't see it that way, and it was just beautiful. It was a really beautiful lesson. There's always something I learn when I go and just sit, and be quiet and still and open to it. So that's a big part of this. And that's when I spoke about earlier, the disconnection from nature, because we don't spend enough time in it. I won't want to say everybody across the board, but we've gotten disconnected, and especially those of us that live in the city. And so yeah, going out and just sitting and being quiet. It's amazing what we learn.
Thanks, Sadie. It looks like Henry's got something else to share.
Yeah. I think something that maybe I didn't touch on earlier is that I did say we are nature. So of course we are, because if you look at the earth from the moon, everything that's there is all the same stuff, but distinct from each other, but also kin, right? And so all of nature is our kin, and we are the kin to all of nature. And so we also have this intellect that can allow us to stand outside of ourselves even, and observe ourselves, and then have thoughts about that can be disconnected from that self that we have thoughts about, or it can be disconnected from everything else and have thoughts about it. But the interesting and beautiful thing is that the body doesn't do that. The body doesn't have that going on. As soon as you put yourself in nature, and the the mind starts to, calm down and go, well, I don't have a lot of stimuli here. It's like no shoot me ups and no games to play and like nothing to keep this going. The body starts to rise. The consciousness from the body starts to rise and come to the fore. And that's when we begin to notice, oh yeah, these are my sisters, these are my sibs, these are my kin. And the natural wholeness that's available at all times comes to the fore. So often people are suffering, and I too often am suffering, like Roe versus Wade is causing me a lot of suffering. But if I'm just going outside, it shifts my perspective. And it's not necessarily that I shift, like I thought one way and now I think another way, but everything seems a different thing than it is when I'm just here in my four walls. When I'm out in nature, suddenly I have a different relationship with all the things that are part of my life. And there's more wisdom in that relationship than when I'm not allowing my body to become reconnected with the larger body of the world. So basically, the body is always ready. And so literally going out into nature and reconnecting with the other beings we're prepared for it. There's not much we have to do other than just take ourselves there.
Yeah, Susie, go ahead.
I love listening to everybody talking because that spurs these ideas in my head. Sadie and Henry have both been talking about being out in nature, and I go like, geez, I sound so urban because I hang out my laundry and I walk the dog, but I do have a path near my house called the Interurban Trail, and I get to walk that. And I love that I can take note of what nature is doing, what Mother Earth is doing in the moment. So we're talking about medicinal herbs. I get to identify, oh, look, there's that horsetail and there's that, oh, that skunk cabbage is big, and feeling that connection with the cycle of Earth. I think that's part of the disconnection that Sadie is referencing, is that we have lost our place in the cycle. We don't like to talk about death here. We want everything to stay the same. It's like, no, we've got to cycle through this. The moon has a cycle. We've had solar flares recently that are part of a cycle, and it's all a cycle. And I get this feeling that we take ourselves out of the cycle, remove ourselves from that connection with the earth. And so when I'm doing something like, I'm hanging up wash and I'm paying attention to the weather to see if I'm going to bring the laundry in colder or wetter than when I set it out or whatever. It's being in touch with that cycle that I feel is incredibly healing. There's so many rituals or little ceremonies or practices anybody can do to put your emotion into the earth. That's what grounding is about. You're putting yourself into Mother Earth, you're bringing her up, you're connecting to Source, you're being a part of that energetic cycle that is important to us moving forward in life. And so I think that's what we get to do in something like this, is that we get to sit here and look at our lives and see how it connects with the theme and then feel connected that way. And so even when we were all stuck in our homes, now we can connect this way in addition to other ways. So I feel that we are making more of a connection. I know current events have made us feel even more separate, but that's also an opportunity for us to join together to connect with each other in such a way that we can make incredible shifts and amazing changes. Thanks.
Thanks, Susie and Sadie.
Yeah, what Susie was just talking about, the cycles, that's been a huge part of getting more connected with earth-based spiritualities like paganism, Wiccan traditions, learning the cycles. How I didn't grow up with that. I grew up in a Christian society or Christian tradition, and we didn't follow that at all. And it's no wonder I just felt so disconnected from the earth. I mean, I always loved going out and being in nature so much, but it wasn't honored and spoken about. And we certainly didn't honor the moon and the cycles of the moon and work with those energies. So that's been a really huge part of my healing and my spiritual growth, is reconnecting to astrology, to how those energies and cycles work, and the solstices, the how the sun, the light and the dark, works on our planet, and how we work with those, going more internal when it's darker and getting more external and active when there's more light. Just learning how to work with those energies and those cycles has just been huge for me in, again, my healing and returning to the earth and getting more connected, and feeling more, yeah, more connected to my body. I think that's another thing about some of the dominant traditions that we've grown up in. There's a real disconnect from the body, from our body, and that there's something sinful or shameful about the body. And the earth-based traditions and spiritualities really help us to reconnect with that and get more in touch with that, and know that there is nothing wrong with our body. It's beautiful and something to be celebrated. And that's part of, yeah, reconnecting with the earth is and our own nature. A lot of the dominant religions are about going out there. They're not about coming in here. They're trying to escape the earth and escape this sinful, shameful material experience, and that has just, I think, caused a lot of problems, and that we're all witnessing and experiencing right now. So a return to ourselves, to the earth, is just such a healing experience for us. And yeah, so it's so good to hear everybody talking here. It's very inspiring. So, and I'm finding my voice. Woo.
Hey, that's great. Yeah, well, so for those of you that are new, this is our panel on paganism and ecotherapy. We've introduced ourselves and talked a bit about the theme, and then we're available to answer questions. There's information in the chat about how to ask a question. We request that you pay first. It's sliding scale, 20 to 28, and $12 for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. Yeah, you can pay by PayPal or Venmo. I don't think we have anyone in line yet, so you can get right to the front of the line. Yeah, so it's up to you how you want to pay and what you want to ask. You can ask something that has to do with the theme. You can ask something that we might answer with tools around the theme. And you can ask anything, and we'll use whatever modalities are here to answer your question or share healing with you, or whatever it is that's here. Yeah, so and we don't have a question from the audience yet. We can ask questions as well. There's some other topic we want to talk about. All right, Susie, go ahead.
I do. I would love for Henry, if you would please elaborate, Laureli, and elaborate more about what makes ecotherapy so, well, not so awesome, but it's what is it about ecotherapy that makes it that, oh my God, I don't have a word for it.
It's
But
great. What is it?
makes
Like, how is it different from any
yes,
other kinds of therapy? Yeah. Go ahead, Henry.
we're gonna
Well,
send that no words in me back out so Sadie doesn't catch it. I'm not sending it.
So yeah, okay, that's a great question, and I ask myself that too a lot. I think we've covered it to some extent, but I think sometimes even when we cover it, we're not really hearing the distinction as much as we might. So ecopsychology, so ecotherapy comes out of ecopsychology, or like ecospirituality comes out of ecopsychology, and ecopsychology comes out of deep ecology. So that is a philosophical discipline, or not necessarily only philosophical, but it is a discipline, deep ecology. And what deep ecology says is that this whole planet is one organism. And some people even will say that this whole universe, or all of life, is one organism. But that's, now we're getting more into panpsychism. So deep ecology says all this world is one organism. And how we are treating it is how we are treating ourselves. So how we are treating the nature is how we're treating ourselves, because it's a mirror to each other. So it's not like that over here we have these separate lives called the human lives, even though that's exactly what it seems to be like, because we are capable of not noticing the rest of the world. You know, we watch the news, and the news is about people, and we do jobs and they're about people and for people. And so this kind of, we have become what is called anthropocentric, anthro-human, so human-centric. So we have developed into a species that is self-referential. We care about what we're saying and what we're feeling and what others like us say and feel. And we have developed this parallel life, this parallel world, parallel to the rest of all other life forms. And so we're seeing this thing out there called nature. And then we're the life form called humans. And then maybe we also see that our pets are life forms. And then maybe for some people, they're house plants. And then or they're farm animals. So some, you know, people will expand a little bit and enlarge that circle of, but then it's like our pets are living with us and our plants are in our environment. And deep ecology says that that's an artificial barrier and an artificial distinction, and that everything that's happening in nature impacts us, and everything that's happening with us impacts nature. And we can actually see that. This is why we have the degradation of nature as we do have it, because it's happening in our societies as well. And so that is what deep ecology is, that it says everything is conscious, everything is alive, and everything is together. And out of that arose a discipline. So that's the term. It's a discipline. And what arose out of that is, well, how do we turn this into something that heals? And so that's what ecotherapy became, the arm of deep ecology that creates healing. And then eco-spirituality is for people that, you know, are not as tied to therapy, but more tied to spirit. And so it's not saying that there is no God and that the earth is God, but it is saying that the spiritual expression doesn't just happen off planet or off dimension, but is actually happening right here with us in this world that we call nature as distinct from us. That is not distinct from us. I hope that gives some insight into.
Thank you very much, Henry, because I understand it's more than like, let's go hug a tree. It's way much more than that. That would be directly oversimplifying it. So I appreciate you explaining it.
Yes, it's and I didn't say that specifically, but thank you. You're bringing this forth. It's essential that there's reciprocity. That like, I'm not going to go out there and hug a tree. I'm going to ask if it's okay to hug, first of all, and then I'm also going to say, how are you? And let that tree talk to me. So it's
so it's treating the different components. Okay, you mentioned that everything has a consciousness, has an energy to it. So it is interacting with nature or with everything around us. Like, you know, when I go out and greet the moon or thank, you know, the ground or whatever, that's part of ecotherapy, is acknowledging it and interacting with it in a less objectified way.
Yeah, I would say that's part of deep ecology, to not objectify, like basically, objectify, like taking the life and the consciousness and the awareness out of things. Like, oh, can you imagine, how does this tree grow if it has no consciousness? It's not a machine, you know. So at any rate, so that's where just like, so we have deep ecology, that is the discipline. Out of it arises the healing discipline called ecopsychology, and also and then out of that comes ecotherapy and ecospirituality. And there's many other different kinds of ecos.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So reciprocity is absolutely crucial to that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, thanks for asking that question, and thanks for that great answer. Great enriching answer. All right. Well, yeah, we still don't have anyone in line. So yeah, what do we all want to talk about? Are there, and if anyone has any general questions or topics that you want us to share about, feel free to put that in the chat until we have a question.
Like, how do we, you said it's $20 for a question or something?
Oh yeah, so I'll put it in the chat right now. So
I don't know how to get to the chat very well.
you can't get to the chat. So it's 20 to 28 sliding scale, or $12 for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. So you can pay on PayPal or Venmo.
Okay. Sliding scale, I don't have a job right now. So, I don't know. I'm new to all this, but I really enjoy it a lot. Awakening, I guess that's what I'm doing. And I'm just in awe. And I'm mad that I didn't do this a lot. Like, I'm finding my true self and actually listening to myself. I guess it's not.
We're all on a journey. We're all on a journey. We're all opening at different stages, and right, the opportunity is to go forward from where we are and not to look back and shame or blame ourselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just glad that I'm having this awareness. Like, all of a sudden, it's lots of great information, and I came across this group, and I like it. Good job, guys. I don't know.
No, that's great. Thank you. So we've got lots of other events too. So yeah, if you're new to the MeWe events, just for example, tomorrow we have an anything and everything training panel. So that is similar to this panel, except that it's shorter. It's for practitioners that are either new to sharing modalities, new getting practice on stage, sharing a new modality, and they might practice in that modality in particular. It's 2 hours. We start at 5:30 and it's half price to ask a question. And then Saturday, July 9, we have a panel with the theme demystifying and reclaiming the metaphysics of aging. And then Sunday, July 10, we have an online fair. We have about 18 practitioners that are going to be answering questions from the audience briefly during the first hour. And then we'll be in breakout rooms offering all kinds of educational talks, group readings, group healings, and be available to do private sessions in private breakout rooms. And then Monday, July 11, we have a panel on past lives. So all kinds of different things going on. And if you're in the Northwest US, we have in-person fairs too. We're being Anacortes in the middle of July and Bellevue, the end of August. And there might be more popping up. Yeah, so all kinds of different things. Great. Yeah, so if anyone does want to ask a question, we do request that you and then let us know in the chat that you.
So what do I just, so like I can pay $12 or what? I don't understand. Like,
I mean, so so in general, the sliding scale is 20 to 28. So it would be 20. You're welcome to wait until tomorrow and come tomorrow. You're welcome to wait to come tomorrow and pay half price at the anything and everything panel too.
I can do the, well, I can do the 20. Do I like, can you guys all give a little?
If you ask a question, when you ask a question, generally everyone will answer. It's possible someone won't have something to share, but yeah, generally each of us answer. Yeah. Yeah, so $20 is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless BIPOC applies to you. Yeah, then go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna be looking, like, finding this stuff. So
yeah.
I'm gonna turn the video off. So
yeah, I get it. Yeah, go ahead and find things on your phone. That's great. And there should be a link that should work for PayPal in that. Who does it say? Is it hyperlinked? Yeah, it is. It's hyperlinked. Yeah, and anyone else, if you'd like to ask a question of the panel, maybe I'll do just a few things, kind of just setting the stage. This is a public format. So when you ask a question, if we go deeper than you want us to go in this format, or we talk about topics you don't want us sharing about, please interrupt us and let us know. We want to stay in a context that honors you as we answer. This is a great opportunity for everyone to practice opening to your intuition. So you might want to write with something, scribble, draw, write whatever shows up. And you'll have a chance to see if what comes through you is similar to what we share. It's just confirmation that you're tapping in similar ways or to similar information, right, that we are. Of course, you might have great information come through you that we don't share. It's great to get confirmation. And then it's a great opportunity to listen from all this asked and all this answered, whether or not you ask a question. It's kind of the context to hold as we answer questions tonight. Yeah, and while we're waiting, if anyone has any general topics you want us to talk about related to paganism and ecotherapy or related topics, we're happy to do that. Yeah, and we ask that you pay first and then let us know in the chat that you're ready to, let us know that you've paid and we'll make sure we get you in line. We often have a bunch of people in line. Want to keep track of everyone and get everyone in. Yeah. Cool. Oh, Sadie, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to speak a little bit more to this separation and the previous science that had us, that told us that we um, just kind of accidentally showed up here somehow, that we did not arise together as part of the earth, and that the earth is something, nature is something to be dominated. And I think that's, I mean, nothing happens by accident. We didn't just show up here. And I think a big, uh, I noticed there's so much shame and guilt and that sin kind of mentality again around our bodies. I know I spoke about that earlier, but I think humans have this, I see it a lot, this way of relating to the earth, like we are doing something to it, that we're destroying it, that we are bad, that we if it weren't for us, the earth would be just fine. And I feel like that really just piles on a lot of, it's more shame, and it's more of that kind of Christian mindset, and that we're sin, that we're evil, that there's something wrong with us. And I think it's really important. I was listening to something, a channel, some channeled messages. This was some time ago, and one of the things that these beings, I can't remember, they weren't Pleiadians, I don't remember who they were that was being channeled, but really talking about how that mentality that we have really doesn't support the earth at all. It's just only piling on more negative energy that she's trying to work through. We're all working through this negative energy and taking on that mentality and that perspective that we're bad, that we're destroying the planet, that it's gonna, we're all gonna die, it's the end of the world. That's not helping anything at all. So just really understanding that the earth is going through her own cycles. There's a lot of consciousness raising. She's going through her own consciousness raising. We are going through that too. And it's important for us to take responsibility for how we're showing up. Certainly, we need to do things that are taking care of the earth, and that's taking care of our bodies, just like Henry was talking about. The way we treat ourselves is the way we treat the planet. So when we start taking better care of ourselves and getting more conscious of our own self and going through our own spiritual growth and awakening, we start recognizing that there's so much more going on, and we start treating the earth better. We start working because we're treating ourselves better. So again, it's that there's no separation. It's just becoming more conscious and more aware and understanding that it is all one big unit. So I feel like that's a really important thing, because we are so good at putting ourselves down and making ourselves feel like we're separate, and that mentality only serves to compound the issue. And when we're dealing with that over these horrible things that are here destroying the planet, how in the heck do we get out from underneath that one? So try to let that go and to take a different perspective and just start doing what we need to do for ourselves and for the planet, and let go of that heavy thing. It's not serving. So yeah, I really like that. I think it's important. I hear people doing that a lot, and it's just like, whoa, that's a lot to take on. So yeah.
Great. And we've got a great general question for later that we can answer. Yeah, thanks so much, Sadie. That was great. And Alicia, thanks so much. You did leap in and you're ready to ask a question. Let's what is your question? Let's get you unmuted. Nope, you're muted.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think going like, does it have to be like specific, or can it be more general? Like,
You
Or
can
not?
ask, anything. And so just something that's personal to you is really the best thing. And you were probably paying, so I want to make sure you heard this. If we go deeper than you want us to go in this public format that's recorded and will get posted online, or we talk about topics you don't want us sharing about, please interrupt us, because like you'll ask about this and we'll go
I like
like
it.
here and bring
That's
out.
good. I like it.
Okay, great.
I got my little wand. So I just wondering, like, because my life's changed a lot in the last 2 years. I don't work anymore. I'm going through trying to get disability and stuff, but I just don't know. I don't know, like, where my life is going per se. Not where it's going, but like, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Where in the world are you?
Spokane, Washington, by Idaho.
Uh-huh. You're like right, kind of like right in between. I know Spokane's over on the east side.
Yeah,
there.
it's right in Idaho. Pretty much I was like in a 10-year relationship, and then we moved out, and it's just me, and like, I'm like, whoa, it's just everything you have to be aware of. And I don't know. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm just telling on myself, but I think I have like this effect on people. I'm doing the Reiki healing. I got the one completed.
Like you're receiving Reiki or you're learning Reiki?
I'm learning. I did the certificate for 1. I'm doing 2 and 3. I've always been really intuitive. Like I'm an empath. I'm learning these things. Like I'm a major empath, so I really have to not let everybody else's, feelings affect you. I don't know. It's not a question. I'm just trying to say something. Like maybe like you said, like she said, Katie, that's like we all are here. Like it didn't happen on accident. Like I'm in this. It's not a coincidence. There's all these coincidences, but they're not coincidences when you have so many. It's like, whoa, this is really happening. I don't know.
So I want to say I took some notes. So I want to say I captured just a few things. So you had a relationship end, it sounds like, and you moved, and it's just you in the place now.
He moved away. He moved out of my house, so then it's just like all new to me. I realized, like, what in the heck was I doing? Like,
yeah. And you're not working right now? Your job ended or you left?
Yeah, I should get the decision like next month, because I'm in the process of applying for Social Security.
That's what I was wondering about. What you say? If you don't mind sharing, what age are you?
I'm 43.
Okay. Yeah. Right in the middle of things. Okay. Great. Well, Susie's ready. So let's Susie dive in.
Okay. Thank you for the notes, Laureli. I see, Alicia, that you were learning Reiki. Now, the way I learned Reiki is that level 1 is to work on myself. So I do the Reiki to myself. I encourage you to continue to do that. It seems to me, what am I seeing? That if this is a great opportunity to ask a tree to help you to ground, but to get outside of where to go outside of not only your environment, but outside of yourself just a little bit, and use the Reiki and run that energy, pulling it up from Mother Earth, bringing it in through Source so that it works and shifts around with you. Because that's one of the basic things about Reiki is that, when you get to these other levels, second level is about helping other people, and third is about teaching other people the way I learned it. So as you're working on yourself and working on other people, it's still going to work on you. Reiki will go exactly where it needs to be. Yeah, you can do all the hand things, and put it where it needs to go. But sometimes it's lovely just to sit with your hands up, palm up in your lap, and breathe. It's easy to get all kinds of discombobulated and ungrounded, but that's part of Reiki, is to learn to ground within yourself. It doesn't feel like you're very comfortable in your body right now. Taking that time to breathe, taking the time to Yeah, it's taking
like,
that time. You, but you're in your body for a reason. I've had my friends remind me of that. With all of the stuff that's been going on, that we signed up to be here on the earth for a reason. So you have a reason to be here. And right now, that reason is to help yourself heal so that you can allow that energy to flow out. There's another note that says you want to know where you're going. You're on a path to healing. And how that healing looks, it looks different to other people. And that's okay. It's going to look one way for you as it did for me. I took a really difficult path. I had the cancer and I've survived it, and I've changed that history in my family. I've changed that story. You get to change. You get to write your own story in such a way where you are grounded and you are connected with the earth and connected with your body in a way that it heals. And I see that you've got ancestors behind you who are looking forward to the healing. And there's the other thing, that when it comes to trauma, that as you're healing your trauma, you are healing others. And then their energy shifts, and that healing will help you heal. So you're we talked about cycles earlier. I feel that connection. I actually could retain something long enough. So you're working on this cycle of healing. It's not easy always. If healing was easy, then we'd all be great. We would all be fine. But you're working on this Reiki, and I think that's going to be the major tool right now for you. And then it opens up doors so that you'll go, okay, what else can I do with it? But that's what I see as being your first step, is to use that healing, use that Reiki on yourself. Okay.
I'm going really slow. Like I haven't started with you. I'm still, like you said, feeling the energy and stuff. Like, yeah, that's good. That is my goal, is to heal and just be happy first. Like I haven't been happy in life. I feel like my whole life. So my goal is just being, yeah.
And do I pronounce your name Alicia? Is that right? Okay, great. And let's see, and Iridescent is ready. So go ahead, Iridescent.
Hi, so I decided to pull some cards for you from a couple Oracle decks. And the first three that I've pulled for you was Retreat. I'm going to try my best to show you them. Resistance, and then Air. And so for me, and I'll just share everything I pulled and we'll kind of break it down. And then I also picked Transformation. And there's like these little affirmations. So this one says, relax into the discomfort. And then there's Unity, breathe into the now, and Divine Order, all is well. And so what I was kind of picking up from this is, first of all, one of the ways your guides is wanting to send you confirmation or just letting you know that they're there supporting you during this transitional time in your life is through butterflies. This may be like physical butterflies you see out in nature. This could be like tattoos, arts, just like any kind of butterfly symbolism. That is your guides letting you know that you're not alone and that you're being supported and guided through this. So look out for that. But Air deals a lot with communication and our mental faculties. And so I'm seeing right now that, especially like being unemployed right now, this is spirit trying to isolate you. It's asking you to retreat, that hermit energy, so you can really come into union with yourself as you're aligning with this next cycle, like the previous practitioner was saying, of your evolution. I feel like you're really in this period. This transition is about really opening up to your full psychic abilities. We're all psychic. For you, it seems like you really find your passion through Reiki and energy healing, which is fabulous. But oftentimes, and what I believe is that our external world reflects our inner world. So once we start transitioning and moving through these different challenges and integrating them and overcoming them, what starts happening is our external reality starts shifting to match that. And when that's happening, sometimes that change can feel very ungrounding and unsettling. And what happens is, instead of grounding into our bodies into our intuition, which is guiding us through every step of the way. We get caught up in our mind and into our thoughts, which our thoughts are just illusions. So I really feel like this resistance that's coming through is from your mental capacities. It's that doubt, it's that fear, it's those limiting narratives that you're actively transforming through right now that are trying to keep you in that lower vibrational frequency, but your soul is ready to expand and grow. So what the universe is saying is trust into the unknown. Trust, don't worry about the how, the when, the where. The universe is taking care of that. Divine order, all is well. You are safe, you are protected. Just trust in what is coming through to you. Really jump into that, take that leap of faith, and breathe into the present moment, because all you need is the present moment. The rest will reflect when it's ready and matched up. So I hope that helps.
Exactly right. Like this Reiki, that's kind of new. Not, it's just kind of led me. But yeah, like I've been meditating. Like I just feel like I'm getting it now because my mind, that's why one time's so scary. Like I have bad anxiety and like you guys, your words weren't coming. I felt like I put that on you guys. That's like part of my major thing is I know what I want to say in my head, but I can't find any words. Like, I don't know. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
I feel like you're really working on activating your voice chakra, which is standing in your power, standing in your truth. I feel like a part of that anxiety is coming from worry about the people in the external or the situations in the external. The people who are not in alignment with your true authentic self are going to naturally fall away. And I know that can feel scary, but it's simply just opening and making room for the people who are aligned with you and who are going to export your greatest expansion to come in and just make your life even more magical. So trust that there's a divine process, and sometimes people leaving isn't a permanent thing. It just takes them their own journey and their own healing to come through their own awakening. But through living your authentic truth and not being afraid to express what it is that's wanting to be expressed, you're going to help those in your life awaken their own inner passions and their own inner truth. And it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship, and we can see how that's reflected in nature as well. So it might help for you to kind of ease the anxiety, to go into nature and to really witness all of its different forms and cycles. Nature they're not afraid of anger and release and letting go of, they're not ashamed of their power. And so maybe it's just going out there and screaming and really tapping into that primal energy, not being afraid to make yourself seen and noticed. I feel like just those things are really going to help strengthen the voice that's wanting to come out now.
Great, thanks, Iridescent. We've got Henry and Sadie both in line.
Sadie, would you mind going first? I'm still looking for a specific card.
Sure thing. Hi, Alicia. One thing that I've been working with a lot lately and I find to be a really powerful practice is just, it's called earthing, and it's just perfect for what we're talking about right now. And that's just getting your feet on the earth without shoes on, just sitting on the earth and breathing down. I mean, for me, what I've been doing is well, when you just go and get onto the earth without anything, out any rubber of your shoes, interrupting the frequency of the earth coming up through your body, when you just go and stand there and just feel the earth, this beautiful energy just washes through you, and it's just kind of a euphoric feeling. And so just that in itself is really powerful, but it's really helpful, I find, to breathe, breathing that the energy of the earth up through your feet, up through your body, and then breathing down, releasing all that anxiety, releasing it, with the intention of transmuting it into love and light. That's how I do it. I mean, whatever, speaks to you, but just releasing it and asking the Mother Earth to support you in your process and support you into releasing that anxiety and releasing any energy that's ready to go, and then breathing that energy back up. And just, you said you've been working with meditating, so you can, especially now that, what?
I've been doing, like you said, like releasing energy and blowing it all out and getting it. Like I do all those. I've done so many. Like I've been meaning to go sit on like the earth, like Yeah, I have
So
it.
your
Just for tonight.
intuition is telling you that that's what you need. So this is perfect.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Me.
You're hearing exactly what you
God.
need. So I can't recommend it more highly. I've been working on this for a month because I just wanted to set this. I watched this movie. It's a documentary called Earthing, the Remarkable Science of Grounding. And it really gets into the, not that we really need the science to know that it's helpful, but it's still a cool movie, cool documentary. But it was really inspiring how we have so much inflammation in our bodies, which means in our minds. And being on the earth and connecting with those frequencies, just simply being on the earth removes all of that inflammation. And so continuing to do that on a regular basis. So we
That's my algebra. That's like, I need that. Sorry.
yeah. So we set this container for ourselves, like, let's go out and do this every day. Just stand on the earth for a minimum of 5 minutes, 5, 10, 15, and lay there every day for a month and just see what happens. And we're already noticing some great things like, yeah, grounded, less anxiety, sleeping better. Just our rhythm is just getting more stable and calm. So anyway, just thought of that. That might be something for you. And it sounds like you know this, so.
Like Netflix or something? Like
What?
where was the movie?
Oh, you know what? That's actually on YouTube for free. It's just earthing, the Remarkable Science of Grounding, or the Earthing movie. That's what it's called, the Earthing movie. And it's great. It's really great. And it helps us to understand and see in a real tangible way what the disconnection from the earth has done to our bodies, minds, and spirits. So it's, we've watched it at least 3 times now, and it's just really good. So it's helpful. So cool. And I'm so glad that you're here. It's just lovely to hear you and to see you starting on your path. And I understand all those like feelings of not being on time or like I wasted time, something. But again, just like you said, there's no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in this perfect timing, and there is divine timing. So you are, that saying, you're right where you're supposed to be. So I know it's easier easier said than embodied, but yeah, thanks for being here though.
Thanks so much, Sadie. Maybe Henry is all set and ready to go.
Yeah, so I'm going to screen share. So Alicia, I think I'm going to give you a choice.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And you can hear me, right? Okay, great. So I think I'm going to give you a choice here. So I want to, you're doing the Reiki and meditating and all that. So I'm going to assume that you are connecting with your intuition, with your inner wisdom. Yes. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment and just ask yourself if you want me to give you a tarot guidance reading, or if you want me to guide you just straight up through Ecotherapy. Don't look up, look inside.
And these are cards that Henry has made. You have to know that.
Yeah, just my own deck. So don't look outside yourself, look within your own inner wisdom. Which way do you want me to go, with my tarot deck or with Ecotherapy?
Ecotherapy.
Okay, great. Excellent. I was really hoping that you would do that. So now you own that to another degree, right? Right. So one of the most important things that anyone has ever said was Albert Einstein. We all know who that is, right? And what Albert Einstein said, I have it here. I pulled it up, so I now can't find it. Too many screens open, and that's totally fine, because basically what he was saying is that the thinking that creates the problem can't solve the problem, right? And so that's paraphrasing him. Whatever your problem is that you feel kind of lost, like, where's my life going? Why am I not happy? Why can't I just, like, I see other people happy? Why is this not for me? You didn't create that in terms of, oh, I'm going to make myself confused. but there's an environment in your mind and in your heart and in your body and in your life within which this experience arises. And so you go to this same environment, like how you think, how you feel, how you perceive. You go to that environment to try to find a solution. And this is what most human beings do. Like, you know, as soon as I said, which one do you want to do? Your eyes flew open and they looked up there as if the answer were out there. That's the environment that you're in, that the answer is out there, but not in there.
Oh.
Right? And so when you connect with nature, I guarantee you, my plum tree is not asking, where are the answers out here somewhere?
Yeah.
It's just not working that way. Us humans who can stand outside of ourselves and observe ourselves, we have that very strange capacity. This causes a lot of trouble. It becomes this environment from which you want to extract the solution. And that environment does not have the solution, it has the problem. So you must do something else. And even when you use Reiki, if this is very mind-oriented, then again, you're going to the environment within which you are experiencing your life for the answer. And you need to get out of that. And ecotherapy offers go with nature. So it's not just saying, feel like a tree as you hug the tree, and then your body has the experience it's having. Do more than that. Do some tree sitting, do some tree dreaming. Like, do you have trees around you? Because trees are really wonderful elements.
Yeah. Well, I have a big tree.
You have what? Okay.
We can't.
Hello?
Okay,
Okay.
great. Yeah, we can hear you
Okay.
now.
Yeah, we're going on my Bluetooth, but yeah, it's a stump. I don't know if that counts.
Okay,
see
but
it?
no, a stump is not going to do it for you. You
Yeah,
have to
because
have an actual tree. So then,
There's some
Yeah, there are trees around.
there
Yeah.
you go. Just find a tree
fountains in my yard.
and say, I was at this, go to that tree and say, I was at this really interesting panel. And Henry said, I should talk to you.
Oh, I'm going to stand on the earth.
Just be completely different. Like,
I got
Henry
one.
said, I should talk to you and maybe listen to you. That's even more important. And just be with this tree. Just sit down. If you don't want to sit on the ground, bring a chair. And just be in the presence of this tree. And do that every day for 5 minutes. Because here's the thing, right? Your neural networks are set up to be what they are now, which are a reflection or an exact structure of what your life is like right now, where you feel that you cannot be happy and you feel that you are lost and you cannot figure out what to do. So you must allow your brain to change. So when you're just present to the tree, or maybe it's a rose bush or whatever it is, you know, it doesn't have to be one of the trees. I feel like I'm hearing tree. So when you're sitting there and you go, tree, do you have something to say to me? I'd love to hear your wisdom. This changes your brain. Like literally, if you do this for a month, 30 days is how you build a neural network. If you do this for a month, if we took a scan of your brain now and in 30 days, it would not be exactly the same. You could literally photograph, you could scan that with a CAT scan, you could scan the difference. So it's work.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I don't.
Great. I mean, you paid for a question. So now you're getting advice that
I like it. I like this
creates
stuff.
work for you. So develop that relationship. Like, look at the tree in detail. What is your real shape? Where do you
looking at it? Wow, that's it does look different already.
Exactly. This is what happens. See, your consciousness changes, and this consciousness change will become an expansion, which was one of my cards. And that expansion will allow new thoughts and new senses and new experiences opening up with that you can apply to your problem. And so you can begin to have a new mind with which to have new answers. And you
Yeah.
can also ask the tree, what are your solutions for me? I'm lonely.
And-
Do you have any wisdom for me?
Yay. I like it.
Good.
I
Yes.
actually wanted to get some pine trees tattooed on me, so now I think I should.
Well, I would say actually just talk to the tree,
Yeah.
or more so invite the tree to have a conversation with you. That's probably a
Okay.
better way to say it.
Well, yeah. Okay.
It will change you.
And then just, I mean, if obviously if I don't, it'll take a while before I actually like am interpreting. I don't know. I get scared that I'm not gonna
Yeah.
connect or something. I just get there's my anxiety, like, oh, it's not gonna talk, you know, but
Yeah.
be open, right?
I really appreciate you bringing that up. You're being very honest, very real. That's so helpful. That's exactly why we often don't do it, because what if it won't work?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get
just
in my
look
head.
look at it as tree dreaming. You just sit there and you dream with the tree. And
Yeah.
and eventually some thoughts will come where you go, I don't think I was thinking that.
Yeah.
So, and if you are worried, then you can say to the tree, I'm afraid that I won't be able to hear you.
Yeah. That's
I'm
what.
afraid that you can't talk to me.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
Bring
idea.
to it whatever is actually present, rather than trying to bring yourself there pristine, as if you knew how to do it. Bring yourself with however incomplete this is.
It reminds me of when I talk to my cat, because like he understands me. And I just talk to him.
And that tree is going to understand you too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Blessings.
Yay, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to talk to the tree.
Great.
Great. And Susie's got something, then Sadie's got something else.
Oh, yay.
Alicia, I would ask you to be patient with yourself.
Mhm.
Trees don't grow like unless it's that Japanese knotweed that blocks my driveway and slaps me in the head. However, trees take their time, and give yourself that same amount of patience too.
Mhm.
So immediate gratification, yeah, maybe not so much, because you've got quite a bit that you're allowing the tree to root into and to help you grow through. So thanks.
Thanks, Susie. Sadie.
That's beautiful, Susie. I was going to say something along the same lines of, there's you can't do this wrong. That's kind of some of the paradigm shift that we're trying to work our way out of, is that there's a proper way to pray or to commune with spirit or source or with nature or with ourselves. There isn't. We need to let go of that and just trust yourself. If you come in with a desire from your heart to connect and to learn yourself and to know yourself and to connect with the tree, you can't do anything wrong there. So that is again part of that shame, sin, guilt, blame, punishment mentality thing that we're really trying to work our way out of, that's out with the age of Pisces as we move into this new age of Aquarius and this new spirituality, that we don't need any hierarchies, we don't need these rules to connect. There's you're not going to get in trouble, there's no punishment, you're not going to do it wrong, and you're just be patient with yourself. You're just learning this and it's a new thing for you. So that's another thing. We have a lot of pressure on ourselves to do it right and have it all figured out before we practice and learn. This is a new thing. So try to just take it easy on yourself and be patient, allow lots of space, and trust yourself. Your soul knows what it's doing. Yeah, we're just not used to listening to ourselves. So
Yay.
I can feel your calmness already. You put your feet on the earth, huh?
Did. And then I sat on this chair, but yeah, I was standing.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
awesome.
No.
It's
Cool.
great. And are you seeing the tree behind you? Did you position yourself so that the tree is in the frame?
That's my tree. That's
Yeah.
my tree in my yard.
It's great. I'll share a little bit too about your eyes. I appreciate that you're exploring Reiki, because I believe that one of your natural talents is called artisan. It is sensitive to energy. It's about being aware of energy, utilizing energy, creating spaces that are really energy soothing for people, for nature. And then artisans also are about freedom, creativity, pleasure. So it's so important to you. It's important to everyone that we follow what we find fascinating, interesting, where we feel energized. And in particular, if you get bored with something, like cranky, like you just can't keep putting your energy towards it. So it's so important that you follow what's really interesting and like centrally really feels good to you. Right. And so being out in nature probably will help your system calm so that you can be more aware of subtleties.
Mm,
Right? And then
yeah.
one of your other talents, I believe, is called priest or priestess. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. It's about feeling emotions and knowing how to utilize emotions to move things forward. So it can be sort of dramatic, like so bigger waves, so you feel
Yeah,
things in a big way.
totally. Like I said, I'm the empath, like all that's right. I always try to be the one that gives all the great, like, oh, don't think like to everybody, but nobody ever does it to me. Like I'm always like everything, yeah.
Well, so you naturally see the positive side and you want to encourage people to move forward. That's part of your gift. And so as you're exploring Reiki, so that's part of what you do. I think this other thing is that you're really about uplifting people. And that might be, in tools like this.
Frustrating when you can't do it.
That coaching, readings, advice, you probably naturally have conversations like that. So part of the trick is the step is to own it explicitly and say that you're doing this. So you find people that really want to hear what you have to share.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise I'm like a broken record. Like you need to feel like this way and think like this, thought process, but it's frustrating when it doesn't.
Right. And it's all about you owning your gift, and that this is what you do. This is what you be in the world, and that you're worth having people that want it.
Yes, I like that. Yes, I was told like I'm more of like an energy type. When I went to Utah a couple months ago, I went in a crystal store and she said that it's like something to do with that. I need to look into like controlling energy, and that was my first time. I was like, what does that mean? And that's I think what brought me to Reiki, because I've just been researching everything on YouTube.
That's great. That's great. And I might use a looser word of like guiding or helping align.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good word. Yeah, I don't have words. So
great.
Hey, thank you guys. You're girl ladies.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope you feel great about your experience of jumping in to ask a question.
Yes, I do. I like all the new like point of views and knowledge and everything. It makes sense.
Thanks so much for participating and supporting us and helping us get started today.
My pleasure. Hopefully, yeah.
You are welcome. All right, next we have Joy, and then we might have Regina checking. All right, Joy, come on up. Little background.
Oh, great. Thank you, Laureli.
And you have two questions, right? A general question and a specific question.
I wanted to ask a general question first because I kind of informs the second question. And that is, how do you feel that ecotherapy relates to like the spirit world, like spirit guides and things like that?
Doctor, I'm still sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. So how does ecotherapy apply to the spirit world and guides?
Right. Like, for example, Henry was asking whether you want to use ecotherapy or tarot. I mean, what's the difference? Hi, Henry.
And you want to hear the answer first before you ask your second question. Is that right? Okay, let's do a quick spin on the first question. And yeah, Henry, if you're ready, go ahead and leap in on that one.
Yeah, okay, so that's a really great question. So strictly speaking, everything is everything, which is so vague. It could mean anything, but sometimes these tautologies are also the truth. So you can get there from anywhere. but there are paths that are easier. There are paths that are harder. There are paths that are more suitable or less suitable. And there are things that open things up for you in ways other things don't. So most of us here on this panel, if not all of us, are Westerners to some extent, or living in the West, which we internalize Western ways. And Western ways very much are divorced. They're anthropocentric in the extreme. And so part of having spirit guides or talking with a sky god is that anthropocentrism. And it's not wrong. It's certainly whatever it is. So if spirit guides work for you, work with spirit guides. If you, whatever, right? Whatever works for you, work with that. Now, if you feel like, hey, I want to try other things too, because I'm not desperate, so I'm not going to just have to stick close to what I already know is working, but I'm open to branching out, expanding, then I recommend ecotherapy because it's not anthropocentric. So I think that what deep ecology says is that all our problems arise from our severance, from the great severance that's been happening for 10,000s of years and has culminated in where we are now, to where kids don't know where milk is coming from, or may have never petted a goat like Laureli had a chance to. Right, things like that. So yeah, we do desperately need to be rehomed because we have disconnected from a home. So let me go back to the question. I think that ecotherapy doesn't invalidate working with spirit guides or vice versa. There are different modalities. Sort of like spear throwing is different from dancing, but both you use your body a lot, right? So there are different modalities. And I think that, yes, deep ecology is probably not so much a modality as it is a higher truth or a greater truth, like a meta kind of truth. Are we really part of this organism? Deep ecology says yes. So that's a larger answer within which then other answers could be contained. But then we could also say, some of us say, and are convinced that we're really not our bodies at all, that we're these spirits that inhabiting these bodies, which are kind of like machines, more or less, like biomachines. So, that's a way to go. As an ecotherapist, and seeing myself as a panentheist and as somebody who completely subscribes to deep ecology, I wouldn't recommend it, because the answers yes, we are spirit, and I feel this myself. I feel this meta divineness that's kind of poured into this physicality. But I think that's not a mistake. I think like a part of me clamors to get back to the great ocean of life, of just this euphoric state of oneness. It clamors for that. And it goes like, I'm not so sure that I'm so interested in this physical life, but I'm going to guess that when I decided to manifest here, that I had my reasons, that this wasn't a forced manifestation, but that I chose this. So I want to do my best to actually drink from the river of life.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's very helpful. Oh, that's great. Where was that?
You're muted.
Thanks. That was on Monday. It's a 2-week-old goat. One of our newer couple of practitioners, Jennifer and Mark, live about 40 minutes west of Portland. They have a 40-acre retreat where anyone is welcome to go stay, and they have a bunch of goats. So I held the baby goat. And then I helped. I didn't realize what it was until I had already done it. 2 2-month-old goats were just getting started weaning, and so I helped move them up the hill to be with the birds, the chickens and the ducks and turkeys. So I carried one of them, really heavy at 2 months old, but yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so just in terms of life, and then we eat animals, we talked about the whole cycle of all kinds of things with the different animals. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. What is your
Um,
question?
Okay, the question is kind of a general one. Things that have been going on. I think a lot of you know, I've been having a lot of metaphysical experiences, and there was an energy at the heart chakra that has gotten much better, but it's still there. And there's that. And then I just discovered this amazing new modality, and also relationships. So my question is just generally, what are your, any messages or impressions or insights?
Well, I just want to jump in and ask you maybe some questions. Tell me about the scene behind you. And
Oh,
what shows the scene behind you.
oh yes. Well, it's, the beach and the sky, which, I really love. And the coloring that, it was from an online artist, that, had a collection of these amazingly colored, photographs. And, this is one of them. Or actually there are a few different artists that do this, but yes.
And how does it have you feel?
Oh, very positive. Very, the colors always make me feel really, uplifted and positive. That's why I need to have these backgrounds.
Do you do anything with color with clients yet? Or do you see how that's possible going?
Oh, interesting. No, actually, I mean, I always have the backgrounds up when I work with people, and for actually at the moment, all my work has been online, and have been getting really good results in terms of people being able to feel healing and feel energy shifts. So that's been really positive. Specifically color, no, that's interesting. I haven't. Although part of the exercise we go through is to envision like an iridescent light and energy.
Is some people see colors in people, right? Auras and colors. And there's another practitioner that just was there again in Eugene that works with color. You seem to, you also have a lot of the artisan talent, right? We've talked about that before, that sensual, all kinds of things. And you seem very drawn to color and very impacted by color. And it just seems like it would be helpful for you to see ways that you might naturally integrate that into what you do, like explore different modalities and just see where you're already drawn and how you have an awareness of things that you're not paying attention to consciously that has to do with color.
Thank you. That's interesting. I'm actually, my background before the metaphysical is in the arts, so I'm very visual. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, so it just seems like, why not? If you really are passionate and love it, which you seem, right, it impacts you. So there might be ways that you create things for other people.
Oh yeah,
Create things. Yeah,
interesting. Yes, that's very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else has something for Joy?
I do.
Go ahead. We can't hear you, Henry, though. You just muted.
Okay, that's great, because that was nonsense anyway. My little ego got all, I'm not ready yet. I'm not perfect. It's okay, ego.
Oh, Henry,
Perfect.
you're wonderful.
Oh. My ego needs a little pet. Okay, so I drew a card for you, and I know we've done this with each other before, so I didn't feel I needed to ask you, but I should ask you too. Do you want an ecotherapeutic answer, or do you want a tarot card answer? And in a way, based on everything is everything.
Is it all right to do both?
Okay. All right, good. So I think the same goes for you as for the previous person, Alicia. Was it Alicia? I think so. That the environment, the internal environment, is going to produce the answers it's already produced. And I know that you're looking for something new. You're looking like you've improved what you've improved, and with what you've got and what you've gleaned and what you've learned from different practitioners and from your own work as a practitioner. So something new is required. And I know you've done tree sitting. And so I'm thinking more of that, like for a longer period of time with more discipline, that you can really allow, like it takes minimum of 28 days to get a little tadpole of a neural network.
Oh, okay.
Literally takes, this is where this idea came from. Takes like 30 days to form a habit. It's because we didn't know that habits are neural networks. It's sort of like, hey, the sun rises in the morning, because we didn't know that we're spinning toward it, you know? So our language reflects a reality, but it's also misleading. So you literally have to do this work in order to get your brain like new neural networks. So I recommend doing more of that and developing the muscle of being interactive with the other nature beings, so that you can see yourself as a nature being and see them as a nature being. That's the ecotherapeutic approach. It's reciprocal. And also say to the tree, what can I do for you? Do you want me to read you a poem or sing you a song? You know, like who knows? Who knows what the tree would like?
Yes, what I got was it wanted water.
Water. Well, you know, it could be a labor of love walking water over there every day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
here's my offering of water for the day. You know, so that's wonderful that you're hearing something. And then you can take that seriously, because you're really good with this mind speak stuff. So right on for you. So the card that I pulled for you, I think, is the final piece. Can you, Laureli, can you let me screen share?
I think I did already.
Yeah, it's I'm trying. Okay, yeah. I clicked the wrong button. Okay, so you have seen this card before, I think. Have you? Let's find out. Have you seen this card
Just-
before?
Henry, you're already close on time, so just go
Okay.
quick.
Oh,
Thank you.
no, I haven't. You had a different one when I
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah. So this is the only thing that's missing. And the only way that you get authority is by claiming it. There's no other way. You know, you're in this wonderful searching place where you're asking, like you're asking us, and also other people, and it's fantastic. You're gathering, you're in gathering. And at some point, if you want to get now to the next level of addressing what's going on in your life that needs addressing, it's just the next level is claiming authority. You're the authority. You get to address this, you can. You have that, you have gathered enough to now claim authority. And then you continue this process of ingathering, then claiming authority again.
Oh, great. Thank you, Henry. That's very helpful. It's very helpful.
Great, thanks, Henry. All right, next we have Iridescent and then Susy.
Hi, Joy. So when Laureli was bringing up color, it really, and when you were talking about what color means to you, it was really resonating with me, because that's in part how Iridescent manifested for me in my spiritual journey. Is I feel very resonant and similar to you in terms of how colors impact me. So I felt called for you to set the intention of like, what specifically are colors trying to communicate for you, or what they mean for you in your life. And what I pulled was intuition, listen to the signals, lightness, let go of dead weight, nature, spend time outside, identity, release attachment to your identities. And what I love for this, and kind of what I was channeling before I even picked any cards, and it's kind of what I'm trying to do, is when I meditate, I don't necessarily see imagery in my mind. I'm not able to visualize, but what I do see are colors. And so what I'm kind of trying to map out now for myself, and I'm feeling might resonate for you, is to start writing down what colors mean for you specifically. You can also like obviously research and look at different sources for what colors mean, but what I'm feeling for you, like colors is one of the many facets your intuition speaks to you. And it's a way for you to instantly visually see when something is resonating. And so it's going to really help you expand that ability even more. The more you're able to go, okay, I'm seeing shades of green, or a lot of green is popping out to me. This is what this is meaning for me and what I'm channeling. So I hope that helps, but it just really sparked a lot of excitement for me. I feel like it's going to be a really fun journey for you to kind of tap more into what color means to you and how it expands your intuition. Yeah, and just have fun with it.
Oh, great. Yeah. What did you say were the cards you drew?
Yeah. We got intuition. Let's see if we can show you here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, great.
Identity. So not necessarily hanging on to any identities. Something that I love, like one of my archetypes is the shapeshifter. Colors, you can do so much with them. They blend together. They can be their own force. There's so many shades. We all have our own perceptions of their color spectrum. So really allowing yourself to be fluid. Also, all the energies were feminine for these cards. So nature was the next one, spend time outside. And then lightness, let go of dead weight. So I feel like colors for you too is how we all have masculine and feminine energy. I feel like that's really how your feminine energy likes to come out and express itself, which makes sense because our femininity is very fluid and just moves easily like the water. So it's definitely how you connect with that feminine energy and a source of great power for you.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening. Great.
Thanks, Iridescent. Suzy's next.
My turn then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Susie.
Okay. Hey, Joy, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so I pulled cards and I'm looking at them going, yeah, I don't know. And then Henry spoke and I'm like, okay. And then Iridescent spoke. So this just confirms for me that the message I've got for you. I used the Earth Magic deck, and the first card was Vision Quest or Desert. Going out and finding those things. And that's what you're doing now. You continue to find things, but I find that it's different with you in that sometimes I just gobble up all I can get. And then I'm like, okay, I got it. Now what? So it's learning to apply it. You do that. And I admire you for that. There are just times I'm like, okay, let me buy 10 more books and stuff like that. But you are doing those quests and looking. And the next card, which is called, it's inversed. So it's an internal process, the way I interpret, and it's dragonfly or emergence. That's the way it looks right up there. So you are looking and doing this internal work so that you can process your own healing and therefore working on other people's healings, and it projects out, but it will project out at some other time. I love that folks are focusing on the color too. I think that's really important to you. I see that energy, sometimes energy comes to me like the aurora borealis, you know, and how it just kind of shifts and waves around. So it's not just the waves, there are colors attached to it, but you have a grander perspective. Oh, that would be the next card, which is Milky Way or perspective, and it's inversed. But you've got that perspective where you can see more, and you are working on finding, oh, what do you guys want me to say? You're working on finding the universe within yourself.
Oh, that
And
makes
when
a
you,
lot of sense.
and so as you are doing that with all of the healing and the love and the healing, the love and the internal work that you're doing, it does allow you to reconnect with that universe, because the universe is everything and it's nothing, and you're finding out that it's not a dichotomy. It's not, they're not exclusive of each other. You are identifying that universe within yourself, which shifts and changes and includes all the things so that you can continue on that path for healing and
Great.
helping others heal.
Great. That's great. Susie, yeah, Aurora Borealis is like one of my themes. That's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Sure. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else have something for Joy? Yeah, it says we have what comes up. It's okay. Yeah, great. All right. Let's see if I have anything else too. I am, maybe I have a general. I love that you have stepped into being a practitioner. That's great, right? You've been participating in our events as a practitioner. And I love that you support us by asking questions at our panels also. I want to encourage you if like, how is the balance of those things shifting at all? Like, how are you putting more of your time, energy into trusting your own answers and taking steps and finding out what's happening, and less of asking questions? It seems like you there's something here about like confidence and trust in yourself and willing to take risks, being willing to take risks.
Oh,
Does
that's
that,
like, sorry, what?
yeah, does that resonate?
Oh, yes, yes, that's actually, that's what Henry was saying too. You know, being able to take in these things and apply them or take authority over them. That really resonates. So I mean, I need to do that with new endeavors and things like that.
Great. I don't remember who it was. Sometime in the last 4 or 5 days, maybe. I ended up speaking with a practitioner that uses a variety of tools, including hand mudras.
Oh, really?
But it was combined with a bunch of other things too. So yeah, I just totally don't remember who it was. Yeah, so
Oh, that's great. I haven't met anyone else who works with them, but
I
that's
can attempt to
great.
dig out who it was. Like, it might have been someone that shared on the intuitive panel in Eugene. Yeah. So,
Oh, nice, nice. That's
yeah. Like, yeah. So yeah, may authority. Yeah. So you being your own authority. This is right. So we're all one. We're all connected. Spirit is in everything. And are we, in the way that we can allow? Like, are we allowing spirit to flow through us as much as it can?
Yes, yeah, that's true. And being in nature, that's come up repeatedly. That's also a big thing that I need to do more of.
Like, nature teaches us flow. Yeah. So how can you include nature wherever you are?
Right,
Yes.
right,
I think windows, plants, rocks, all kinds of things.
right. Henry was just talking about just going back in the backyard and visiting with the trees.
Susie's got something else too. Go ahead, Susie.
Well, I would like to reiterate what's been said a few times tonight. There's no wrong way to do it. I think that's the first best way to develop your trust in what it is you do and the answers you get. You know me, I tend to blurt. And when I realize that it works for me and I don't think there's any really wrong answers that anybody gives. It's just from a different perspective. So understand that you're not going to mess it up.
Okay, great.
That's a big thing. Yeah, now I see your mom behind you going, "Oh, thank you for telling her that." Okay.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if there was anything from her. She's always
She generally sits back, but today she's like, "Good, thank you for telling her," because I thought I had something to say, and then that came back. So you're not going to screw it up. You're not going to mess it up. You're trusting your process, and you're trusting what you have. You have belief and faith, if you will, in the information you receive, wherever it comes from, whether it's guides or a tree or, whatever. Have that faith that you're getting the information that's relevant. I mean, that's what we do. And so with you stepping out as a practitioner, you really get to work that concept. So well
right.
done.
Oh, great. Thank you, Susie. That's wonderful.
Right, great. Anything else for Joy? Go ahead, Henry.
Joy, this card popped up and I don't know what it means, but I'm going to riff off of the authority card and say that you do. So I'm going to share that card. And then you tell yourself what that means. Why is-
Oh, you changed all your cards, Henry. They're great. That's
Well,
great.
it's not so much that I changed them. I don't go like, oh, let me change the cards. It's, I channel it. So it just keeps speaking to me.
Oh,
saying,
that's
"Do this."
wonderful.
Yeah.
Love that.
So
Yeah.
why is this coming up?
Oh, well, divine presence is definitely something that's always uh, an element that's going on. I mean, it had
Right.
from all the metaphysical things that have been going on, and that has been really pronounced for like 6 years at least, and
Mhm.
even before that. But that's 6 years ago is when I became very aware of it.
Right.
It started to be really actively, like, very unusual occurrences, and sensing different things.
Do you think it also may, and I'm going to guide you a little bit here. Do you think, I don't know about your dogs. Like, I know that a dog passed away not too long ago, right?
Yes.
I wonder if, what was their name?
Valentine.
Valentine, yes. I wonder if Valentine is some kind of a guide connection for you.
Oh yes, I
Understand?
she was just we were really connected. And when the first night when she passed, I was making some videos from the camera footage, and I heard, like, 2 a.m. I heard exactly what, like, her scratching at the door. And it was just because I was getting really upset, and I felt like she was trying to comfort me. And then later she was, I get the spirit, because I always been, my thought has been, I would always have wanted her to be inside in the bed, because they had to be separated because they're both dog reactive. So so one of the things that I keep thinking is that I would have loved to have her on the bed. And so I keep getting the sense of her spirit being there on the bed. And she's, like, very much still in my consciousness. And
I wonder if she, because it's been a while now, so, she keeps evolving. So
yes,
I wonder if this is like an invitation for you to connect with her and get an update on what she has, what she now knows. Does that make sense?
oh yes, yes, that I should definitely try to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah, thank
That's
you, Henry.
what I had.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Great. And Sadie has something.
Hi, Joy.
Hi, Sadie.
Hi. Nice to see you. So I was trying to remember your original question, asking something about, like, the difference between spirit guides and ecotherapy, or how they're different.
Right. That was the general question that I.
Okay, and just something that's been popping up today, and listening to you talk and listening to the conversation, like, like, there's no wrong way to do this, and I feel like spirit shows up to us, and however works for us, whatever speaks to us. So whether it be, through a tree, or through your dog, or an archangel, it's going to show up for us in the way that works for us. Just like there's so many different paths we can go on, and I think I don't know, that was just, I think I see people, like, questioning. I think because we're learning so much to trust our intuition that's been shut down for so long, it's hard for us to trust those messages when they do show up, or when they show up in a certain way. We're just like, is this real? Is this okay? What's going on? Do I really have access to this information and to this guide? And or somebody else was it's come up a few times today, like, am I doing this wrong, or afraid that I'm doing it wrong, or, how do I connect with these, with spirit, basically, or whatever we want to call that. So I think that's just a real, I've gone through that myself, just when messages are coming through, and just learning to trust it, because it is new. We're having a lot of new awareness and new consciousness. We're really leveling up right now, so we have access to so much more information, so many new parts of ourselves that are awakening and opening up. So there is definitely a real learning to trust that process, and allow that to come through. And yeah, I'm seeing that a lot. I'm seeing that a lot. And I think the dominant religion that we've grown up in this society, even if we didn't practice that, or our family didn't, it's still just like there's this hierarchy in how we have to pray through or connect with somebody to connect us to spirit. So getting used to just being able to do that ourselves, and listen to ourselves, and go internal, and have that dialogue open up is something that we're really learning to trust right now. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there.
Well, yeah, one of the things I wanted to say is that, I saw you at a different panel, and we were talking about, actually, I was talking about consulting about the specifically this energy at the heart chakra, but it got better. So that's why I haven't followed up on that. But to what you say, so what I sometimes second guess myself about is interpretations of things. Like I'll sense something or perceive something outside the 3D, and then I wonder if my interpretations, how much I should
Right?
trust. Right,
Yeah,
right.
really try to find a place to put that in our mind logically and make sense out of it when it's not that. So we're really learning to flex that muscle, and I think we need to be patient with ourselves and understand that it is a paradigm shift, and we are moving out of it. And I've gotten frustrated with myself for not being able to just like, oh, why didn't I listen to that, or why do I question? But that's part of our process right now. So good, but you're doing it though. So so thanks for sharing that. Thank you. Yeah, it's
Great,
important. It's important.
great. Thank you, Sadie.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thank you, everyone. That was really helpful. Wonderful talking, listening to you.
You're very welcome, Joy. Thanks so much. All right, and we just are getting another question right now. I think Dee has a question. Dee might not be done paying yet, but Dee's going to be the one that jumps in next. Yeah, so Dee, you just let us know when you are ready. We had a general question too that someone asked that we can answer a little bit as Dee's getting ready to jump in. The person might not even be on the call anymore. It's a great question though, and I'd love to have it in the recording. It's, how can ecotherapy help reduce depression and anxiety? Yeah, that's really the basic question. Yeah. So right, just being in nature and allowing ourselves to feel the flow of nature, allowing our rhythms. I think, what's it called when we all attune to the rhythms around each other? Yes, Susy, say it out loud though, unmute.
Synchronize.
Well, synchronize, there's another word.
Synchronize our
Too. What is it? Like I know network chiropractic is off. Yeah, Henry might know it. It's often done in a room with other people, and as some people are going through different things, I mean, even the body is doing things that impacts other people. Someone else know the word? Find the word. But yeah, so being in nature often gets us into more natural body rhythms, and that helps a lot with shifting out of depression. Sunlight clearly is important for people, the light and the impact on our bodies. Yeah, go ahead, Henry. Sadie, if you want to jump in and say a little about that too, and then we'll get Dee up on screen here in a moment.
Yeah, so the question was, how does ecotherapy
How can it help
relieve
reduce depression and anxiety?
Yeah, so I mean, the how of it is a little bit of a red herring, because like we don't know how aspirin works, yet people take aspirin. Like, so the how often is not answered. However, there
Yeah, go
have
back to
been-
how to use tools or awareness of ecotherapy, right? To not feel anxious
Yeah.
and not be depressed.
Yeah. So, but what we do know is that the University of Essex has done a study with thousands of people and found that for mild to moderate depression, ecotherapy, so being in nature in a guided way or in a very conscious way, is as effective or more effective than antidepressants. So, and this is not the only one. There is hundreds of studies that have been conducted. Different. Why the Essex study stands out is because it's a large sample. Because very often when we take a drug or we take an approach, when you look at the study size, you're shocked that this actually becomes policy or becomes something that gets recommended. If like 30 men were studied, and yet now it's like true for everyone. However, there are many smaller and medium-sized studies that are showing that developing a relationship with nature that calls us back into our natural home is very effective. Now, of course, there are levels of depression and then other mental health issues that, I'm not a professional mental therapist, so I can't speak as a professional. I can speak, though, as somebody who has read some of these studies and has learned about them in the course I took earlier this year, that these studies show that unless you have like psychosis, but there's even a couple of studies that show that it helps with that as well. But basically, ecotherapy is shown to be as effective long-term or more effective than antidepressants if it's mild to moderate. So that is very exciting. And definitely combined with talk therapy, it goes through the roof, the effectiveness.
Great, thanks, Henry. Go ahead, Sadie.
Yeah, I would go back to the earthing movie that we talked about earlier, and just getting back to a connection to the earth, getting back into the flow with the natural rhythms of the earth. Part of that, and that's also bringing down the inflammation in our body, which is our minds. Our brains get inflamed, and that can really have quite an effect on our mental health. And so that's one way. But yeah, getting back in tune with just the natural rhythms. We're so disconnected, and our bodies, yeah, when they get out of connection and out of rhythm like that, we just start having those kinds of problems and a disconnect. So that's one way. um I don't know. I mean, I don't know why this wouldn't be. I don't know. I find it the terminology interesting, utilizing the word ecotherapy. I mean, it's kind of just coming back to nature. I think of like food, getting back into more natural foods. That could be considered, I don't know what kind of technical term we would put on that, but that's also coming back to the earth, and that can really help with depression, eating more natural foods, moving away from chemically processed foods. So, yeah, I don't know where that falls into the scientific, theory of that ecotherapy, but you'd have to share that with me, Henry. But that's just something that can be can have a real effect on our mental health, so I would look at that as part of coming back to the earth. More homegrown, organic foods, at least organic.
I think it can just be a branch, eco-nutrition.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Because even though obviously all nutrition ultimately is eco, and all of life is ultimately eco, because
Right.
because we are ecology as well. Right? So, but still, by adding the prefix of eco, we're making clear what the connection is, or what the manifestation is, what the particulars, just like we use
Yeah,
green.
totally. Yeah,
The-
it's very different than just saying nutrition. When you put eco nutrition, it really gives it a whole new kind of flavor to it. Yeah, yeah,
just like
definitely.
green building versus building.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks.
I'm starting to look up this word, just if anyone else can come up with this word. It's where one person's energy flow or emotional flow, something, it's where the other person gets around them and they can feel it and they start syncing up with it. It's not just resonance. There's another word for it. Yeah. Well, it's a lovely word, and maybe I'll run it. Yeah, I've forgotten this word before.
Does it have to do with alpha waves, brain waves?
Not just
No.
brain waves. It's like and that's why.
Entrainment.
Yes,
Entrainment.
entrainment. That's it. Thank you.
Ah,
Great. Yes, D is the one that's coming off the stage. D is the one that said it. Perfect. Yeah. So when we get into nature, we entrain with the rhythms of nature, and we come back to our own natural rhythms. And that's part of what connects us more to spirit. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, D. All right, D, are you ready to come up on stage for well, unless anyone else has anything to share about ecotherapy type things and anxiety and depression?
I'm ready.
Great. All right. There's so much more we could say about anxiety and depression, but yeah, great for this panel. All right. I need you to turn on your video so I can bring you up, and then you're welcome to turn it right back off if you want. Does that work?
Oh,
All right. I can get you up, and now feel free to turn it back off. Okay. What is your question today?
hello. Thank you. I'm on a big transition in life. Parents died, sold my parents' house in Arizona, went to California where I grew up to spend some time with friends and family. And I have no clear deadlines on anything, but I am gearing up to go back to the Portland/Vancouver area, where I lived for 15 years before the pandemic and everything. My dad died and all that stuff, having to go to Arizona and deal with everything. So this has been healing being here. There's a part of me that's just like, you know, a little bit resistant about going because I'm a bit in a comfort zone here where I'm staying, although it's kind of in general a dead end. But what's nice is the ocean is here. I'm 10 minutes from the ocean and the water's actually warm enough to, excuse me, be in. And I guess I'm just looking for some insights, words of wisdom, encouragement about embarking on my trip to Portland. I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. That's kind of my plan, although no deadlines. My plan when I get there is just kind of settle in for a bit and try to find a cat sitter while I go travel around the Pacific Northwest this summer and see where I like to live. I love the tall trees. I love oceans and rivers and moisture and cooler weather and shade. That's why I like the Pacific Northwest, but I don't like fires, unfortunately. So I'm going to travel around, and I just wondering if anybody has any wisdom, like, is tomorrow a good time to leave, or should I, you know, jump in the ocean one last time, or I'm have to pack up and take my cat with me and drive for 3 days. And is there anything, am I complete here? Is it important to get up there soon? Is it good to spend more time with the ocean here? And is there any, encouragement or something you guys see about blessings in moving up north? And, I haven't been to Portland since my dad was alive and since before the pandemic. It's been 2.5 years. But I do feel like I need to move forward with my life, especially the summer seems like a good time to explore. So if anybody has any thoughts about the timing, about leaving tomorrow, about the journey, about encouraging me, like that this is a good thing, and, ways to make life easier, or, maybe good things you see ahead of me, good blessings, and ways to embrace those blessings, ways to welcome more blessings in this journey, to find my home, to find my community, because it's not going to be Portland. It's just going to be a rest stop there. And, to regroup, because I do have people there that I'm friends with, but it's going to be somewhere else, probably in the Pacific Northwest, I'm guessing, where I'm going to find my home somehow this summer, maybe, hopefully, as I explore. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for your question. You're coughing seems really important to me.
I just ate.
Uh-uh,
And that didn't bring up
no.
phlegm.
We go over your whole question and you would not be coughing. You'd start talking about certain things and you would start coughing, and then you're fine again. You would start talking about certain things, you would start coughing. So I want to encourage you that your coughing is probably meaningful. It is about throat and expression and like choking, getting stuff out. And it was particularly when you started talking about leaving for Portland tomorrow when you started coughing. So to me, your body is saying you're not ready to leave right now. And I'm just looking at the weather. What part of California are you in?
Southern California, and it's kind of warm, a little uncomfortable, but I am 10 minutes from the beach.
It is. So
But
it's in part of Southern California. It will be 94 tomorrow, which is darn hot. But then it goes down to 89 and 87 and 81 and 78 for a couple of days before it goes back up again, 80, 82, 85, 90. So it seems like this is a lovely part of still the not too terribly hot summer. So less likely that there's fire danger, and maybe you want more ocean that's warm that you can get into. And you're almost ready to go back to Portland, but you get to see what you experiment with, saying different things and see if you cough, see if you feel in flow and in alignment in you.
Also, my birthday is Monday. I forgot about that. My birthday is Monday, and I guess I could get to Portland on my birthday, or before my birthday, or I could be traveling on my birthday, or I could wait till after my birthday.
It starts heating up again really next Tuesday, Wednesday. So maybe your birthday is in the water in Southern California. You get to see. Yeah, no more throat clearing there. Was gonna say, and do you already have some pre-arrangements with people in Portland to watch your cat? Do you already have some ideas?
I don't. I'm just gonna land with a friend at first, and then I guess I'm gonna start reaching out to Sacred Circle Dance List and see who can I can meet while I'm there and interview and see if they want to cat sit for the summer. Foster my cat or whatever.
For some reason, to me there just seems to be a little bit of like imagining that Portland's going to be the solution and that people are going to show up. It seems like it might be good to reach out in a variety of ways before you go and see which town you're settling in based on where support easily appears.
I only know people in Portland. I mean, I know maybe 2 people in Northern Washington. But
where do we all live here? I'm just saying, like, there's a whole bunch of us that are in the Pacific Northwest that know more people in the Pacific Northwest that, anyway, so that's just my thought.
You're thinking that Portland might not be a good supportive place?
Portland might not be the spot where you settle. Yeah.
No, it's not going to be the spot where I settle, but it's going to be the spot where I land at first.
It might not be the landing spot for the next few months. Yeah, that's just what's here. So I just encourage you to explore where it seems like you have an idea in this plan, and it's like without taking the steps to see if that's really in flow, you keep saying this, and I feel scared that you're setting yourself up for disappointment in some way. It seems like it would be good to take some other steps to see if that's what really is going to be the easy path.
So tell me then, you're suggesting like finding a cat sitter in Portland. There are people that are friends of friends,
I just reach out to people before you go up.
Okay. Yeah, because then I would have to take my cat with me as I'm traveling, and that's not going to be fun. That's why I would like to find a cat sitter.
I just don't know that's what if you have a connection to a connection and someone in Eugene that's a perfect spot. I don't know what it is. I just wonder.
Oh, okay. So maybe spend my birthday here.
See how that feels in your body. Yeah. The weather seems like it's going to be nice. You be where you want to be on your birthday.
Okay. Right. It's just a long drive with a cat.
I get that. It is. You don't have to rush it. There's no particular time when you have to go. The roads might be more. Yeah. Let's see. Iridescent, or let's see. Henry has something, and then Iridescent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I kind of don't want to harp on it, but I did get that same sense. It's like, I know you ate, and sometimes something happens there with the throat.
Yeah, because
And
there's phlegm in the throat after I eat.
yeah, yeah.
That's
And
what that was that I felt.
sort of like in the world of everything is everything, and everything is connected, and everything has some, like, okay, we can like say only these things have meaning, and all of these things don't have meaning. Or we can say another group has meaning and doesn't. Or we can also say that everything has a meaning of some sort. And this is by way of saying that you have a rational explanation for the coughing, and this may be all it is. And at the same time, I think it's worth questioning that. Now, I'll tell you why I say that. I was dating this guy who ended up being not a good idea, and I'm not going to go into details because it's not about me. And during that time, that person didn't communicate much, so I didn't want to fill the space with my talking, because when you do that, you don't know what the real situation is. And my throat started clogging up, and I even went to the doctor, and they saw nothing wrong. And then once I stopped dating this person, my throat cleared up. So this is kind of weird. And I could have said, well, it had nothing to do with this. And you can say this coughing had nothing to do with this. But I heard you speaking of the ocean over and over and over. Like you mentioned.
There's ocean up there. This is ocean I could go inside of at least.
I think that's what it's about. Because you started out with that the ocean is warm enough to go into it. And then I pulled a card, and I'm going to show you this card, that made me more confident that the thing for you to do is stay down there and go into the ocean. So this, the child card, that's like literally somebody in the ocean. Are you able to see that?
Yes. Let me take a screenshot.
That's literally what came up. That was the first card. And then the second card was the magic is in you. So the sense I'm getting is, that the cat is like, and I feel you. My dog is 18 years old, and I'm cleaning up poop and pee every day. And sometimes I'm like, my God, how much longer do I have to do that? Because I forget that this is a being in their own right. So I think you should talk to your cat and see what they have to say about that, where they want to be. If they want, maybe there's something powerful to be happening if you guys go together. Or maybe the cat goes like, heck no, I'd like a vacation from you too. So, whatever it is, I'd say, that's the ecotherapeutic part. Talk with your cat. Have your cat tell you what they want. And the repose is the sense I'm getting, and this is just, who knows if it's true. We're all kind of fumbling in the dark toward ecstasy. The sense I'm getting is that there's two of you. One of you, there's a strong, like speaking loudly, I want to be in the ocean. It's warm enough, over several times. And then there's the other part that goes logistics. So there's like the connected part, and then there's the intellectual part. And I think that you tend to listen a little more maybe to the intellectual part, but both of them are really strong. So, which I think is great, which means you're pretty whole. But I think that you want to control the situation and have it your way. And then there's some certain costs to be paid with that, and that's fine. And I think that that's how you could go, but I don't think you want to go that way, because otherwise you wouldn't be asking this question.
To go which way?
With your rational mind, which is where you sort this all out, and you use your pros and cons, and you look at what it is that you want, and then you make that decision, and you override things that you want that are incompatible with it. I think that's kind of how you operate, and I think you want to do something different. Otherwise, look who you're bringing the question to. So
I just know that I want to really take this summer to explore and find where I want to live. And maybe I'm not ready to leave. It's Ventura, Southern Cal. It's near Ventura is where I am.
Yeah.
And Maybe I'm not, maybe I'll be ready in a week. Maybe I just need some more time with the ocean. You know,
Where
but
did you
I
go?
feel like I need to move forward with my life. Like Southern California is not where I'm going to live. I need to move forward and find a place, you know, where I want to live, and going north seems to be what I want to do. And I guess the question is, do I take my cat with me to explore? Do I find a cat sitter so I don't have to have him in the car so much to explore?
Yeah, like, you know, just to reiterate, I would say, don't go tomorrow. I think it's a little bit too soon. Unless you may wake up tomorrow and go, what the heck did these people talk about? I'm ready. Then you'll know, you know, sort of in the negative, sometimes in the negative space is where we find our answer. But as it stands right now, I feel you're not ready to go tomorrow. I think you got to at least give yourself a chance to say goodbye to the warm ocean. And to reiterate, I think have a conversation with your cat. What's your cat's name?
Angel.
Angel. Have a conversation with Angel.
See what he wants about like when we leave, and like if he comes
Yeah,
with me
yeah,
everywhere on the
yeah,
windy roads and everything.
yeah. He might say, like, I have a conversation with Annabelle who has pain and stuff. And she's like, I don't give a shit. I don't put me to sleep because this is still good.
What?
My dog is really old and
Yeah.
in pain. And I'm like, do we need to put her to sleep? And she's like, don't do that. You know, yeah, I'm in pain. I don't care. This is still a good life. So your cat might go, I don't care if I'm going to throw up. I'd rather be with you. You know, with the winding roads, like my dog throws up with the winding
He
roads.
doesn't
So
throw up, but it's just
well, good.
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Your cat might go, yeah, there's a price to pay, but I'm willing. Or your cat might go, Angel might go, you're right. I don't want to be doing this.
Okay. Okay.
That's
And
what I have.
there's no impetus to leave real soon, like in a week is fine.
No, I think you need to go inward.
Yeah.
The repose card, do you remember seeing the repose
Yes.
card on the screen?
Yes.
I think you need to go inward for a little bit. And your conversation with Angel is part of that.
Yes.
Time is up. Thank you.
Thanks, Henry. We have Iridescent and then Sadie.
Thank you.
Hi, Dee.
Hi.
So I pulled some cards for you about your situation, and what I pulled for you was growth, allow expansion, eye of the storm, allow chaos to restore balance, surrender, let go and relax, and possibilities, allow yourself to dream. And so, you know, before breaking into what the cards were showing me, kind of just witnessing and observing you talk about your situation, I was noticing a lot of themes of doubt and kind of looking for external voices to kind of guide you and tell you what to do. And so with growth here, I feel like you already kind of talked about how you're in this transitional space and you're ready to kind of take on the next adventure of your journey and the cycle that you're in. So this growth is pushing into the unknown, into some circumstances you're not going to know how they're necessarily going to play out. You're very much in that divine trust right now. And so I feel like it's activating a lot of the limiting narratives and stories that you've been dealing with this last healing cycle that are trying to integrate and come to a close. And Spirit's trying to remind you, because we're constantly in a game of forgetting our divinity and remembering it again. And I feel like this move for you is trying to usher you into that next level of remembering your divinity. And with that is remembering that we are all divine creators. So you have all of the answers about what steps you need to take within yourself already. Already just hearing from you talk tomorrow is not sounding like a confident yes to you. I feel like intuitively, you know what you're trying to kind of communicate to yourself. But that's where that doubt is you're like, well, I don't want to do it wrong, or I don't want to stay too long. There is no such thing as wrong timing. Everything is in divine timing. So it's until you get that full body alignment of yes, that you'll know when it's time to move forward. So eye of the storm, allow chaos to restore balance. This is going to really kind of disrupt these normal patterns and cycles you're used to operating in. And so the universe is saying, hey, I got you. I'm guiding you. You can handle this. You're ready for this adventure. But you have to trust in this, because through this chaos is where that catalyst and change is going to come and your new reality is going to manifest. And so as that's happening, the more that you surrender and let go and relax into that experience, the more seamlessly that's going to transition for you, and you're going to come into natural alignment, and you'll see the synchronicities and the signs that are guiding you already. So you can put that intention out there as well. You know, whoever you pray to, if you follow your guides, if you just depend on your own intuition and higher self, you can put that prompt out there of, hey, what is the sign that's going to show me that it's time to leave? And just take notice, you know, there is no rush to start this journey. And I think the universe is trying to remind you that this is fun. There's a lot of possibilities for you with this. And again, there's no wrong or right way. Like whatever journey you decide to go on, or wherever you decide to settle down, it's going to be a new world of so many open possibilities. So just be open to the possibilities. I took a very similar journey to you, and I found that I actually was stressed out because for once I wasn't just following this road or journey that other people had dictated for me. It was the first time I was creating my own path. So it opened up all of these possibilities, and the universe was inviting me to have fun with it. But it takes a little bit of practice sometimes to get into that energy and to get used to being the creator and making your own path. So I think that's where that surrendering is coming into, and just falling into that deeper trust. And the more that you do that, the more synchronicities will show itself to you, and the more you'll feel confident listening and adhering to that inner truth of yours. So you got this, and this is a fun time for you. So don't stress about the logistics. Anytime you find yourself stressing, I invite you to do a short 5-minute, 10-minute meditation out in nature to just reground yourself, give all of those concerns up to whoever it is, the higher power that you follow, and then just listen to what is trying to communicate back to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dee.
Hi.
I've heard some great things here, and I'm just gonna agree with everybody. And when I heard you talking, it just sounded very much like you are not ready to go, and that the ocean is really important to you. And you also said your birthday is coming up, so that means that you are a Cancer, which is a water sign, and being in the water is extremely therapeutic for you, and just really healing and lovely. And also working with the astrology. The moon is in Cancer right now too, so we're really in that watery energy right now. And Neptune just went retrograde, so that means we're again going into this internal watery emotional process right now. So a lot of water energy, and so being in the ocean, I can hear how important that is to you and how soothing that is. And I would highly recommend just following what you know, and going and being in the ocean while you can. And yeah, the timing, I mean, that's I hear you like really looking for others to help you validate your logical mind, like, yes, go, but you know the answer. It sounds very clear to me. And I know I've been there plenty of times where I get confused in my head between two choices, and just want some answers so I can get out of my own internal process. So yeah, exactly that. So but yeah, it seems like there's a lot of what ifs, and nothing is I don't know. I'm excited to hear back from you and hear what happens after, just kind of staying in the area there near the ocean, and following your intuition, which sounds clear to us.
Yeah. And any thoughts about when I do go, or what's in store for me, or what to remember?
Yeah, I think what everybody else has said here, to just, allow some space for that, and maybe, try to go internal, and ask yourself. And I know that can be challenging when we are in our minds. It's hard for us to hear ourselves, or even when we do, then we start questioning those messages that are coming through. So, that yeah, and somebody mentioned about body consciousness, like being when it's a full body. Yes, I think that was you, Iridescent, that said that, really feeling into your body. When your throat started coughing there, that's your body saying like, no, this isn't the thing for me. So You know, it just came to me. One of my teachers, she would say there was this practice. She said, you know, just sit with you when you're trying to figure something out, and you're too in your mind about it. Sit down with yourself, sit and quiet yourself and calm yourself, and imagine yourself going first in one direction, whatever one of your choices is. Imagine yourself staying there in California. You're in the ocean. How does that feel? What does that feel like to you? What does it feel like in your body? You know, with all the situations that's going on there. And then after you've done that and you can really feel into that, then imagine yourself going on this other path, following that, leaving tomorrow, doing whatever you're doing, and how does that feel in your body? And try to bring it down out of your mind, and then you can, you know, maybe. And I know sometimes that's hard too, depending on where we're at. But hopefully, you can like feel into your body and see what feels right. You know, maybe you start coughing when you start going over in this direction. Maybe you feel a tension. Maybe there's like something like, you know. But one of those paths is going to feel more relaxing to you in your body. So that's one way to try to come down out of the mind. And maybe just keep working with that on a daily basis, or give it a week, give it some time, and just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay here for a week and not worry about this, and then come back to it in a week and go, okay, so how does my body feel now with this? You know, I don't know. There's different ways you can work with that.
Yeah. 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 It's just, it's a big push just to get in the car packed with my cat and drive for 3 days. So I'm not feeling a whole lot on the other end, other than just some knowing that I need to get on with my life somehow and figure it out.
Yeah, maybe letting that go, that need to figure it out. Give it a week and then figure it out. I don't know. I know we all think we got to have this figured out right now. I find myself in that a lot, and my guides will really mess with me on that too. But that's a whole nother story. Lots of ways to teach me to just surrender and flow, you know, quit trying to have it all figured out. But yeah, it looks like Susie's got something, so I'll sign off here.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sadie, go ahead, Susie.
Hey, Dee. So
Hi.
I am going to, I don't know, confirm. I'm going to agree with what the other practitioners have said, because I got that too. I pulled cards, and the first one was meadow, or vulnerability. Allow yourself to lean into your body feeling, like what Sadie was talking about. Listen to what your body says. Everybody's picked up on the coughing. That to me, you know, is an indicator that your body is telling you. But because there is this deep-seated fear that you're going to screw up, you reject it. You've rejected a lot of stuff, and will deflect answers. That rejection is what causes you to spin and to go out on this way and saying, I don't know. You know, talk to the cat and trust what information you get. The next card, again, it's interesting, was Vision Quest. That is going within. How do you feel being in the water? You've said it numerous times. Trust what you know, because the answers I give are not going to be definite. Nothing is written in stone, because everything happens all at once, which can be intimidating to think about. We're talking about flow. That's water. That's cool. So I'm not going to tell you, yes, you need to stay. No, you need to go. I'm not going to tell you that. I am going to ask you to lean into what your body is telling you. And then the last card was rebirth. That's the spring equinox, which is reversed. So this is an opportunity for you to truly trust what you know. You have been batting all of these things away. This is an opportunity for you to go and lean in, trust what your body knows. That's what we've been talking about. Talk to your body and listen to it and accept it. And you're going to find your answers. You need to listen to them and trust. And that can be difficult. It's a big expanse there, but you are supported. I think that's been something you haven't felt, but you are deeply supported by Source. It's just taking that time to get the monkey mind out of the way So sitting in the ocean, allow all that anxiety to go away, to release. Mother Earth, the seawater, that's what a baby floats around in utero. So return yourself to that state. Allow yourself to quiet and to listen to your body, to see what answers they have. And everything else will flow. But you're not going to screw it up. You're
Yeah.
not going to screw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe stay here for my birthday. Maybe that feels good, because making a big trip before my birthday might be kind of exhausting, and maybe just have my birthday here.
There you go. You move on to the bonus round. You have made a choice. Well done. You've connected with how your body felt. You can do this.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. Great, Dee. How are you feeling?
I don't feel prepared for this trip. Like, I guess I was just gonna kind of go and land at a friend's house for a few days, or for however long it works, and I could always get a motel. And it's just, just dealing with a lot more. I'm really liking the stability of where I am, but it's meant to be temporary. I just maybe I need to do some more preparation.
You're telling us a bunch of what you're thinking. How do you
Yeah.
feel?
And it's meant to be
I would
temporary.
feel relief. I feel relief just to take things a little slower. As long as I'm not missing too much of the summer for exploring, I do like to just take some more time.
Yeah, and we've got a slow, lazy process with the seasons here, so you have time. Yeah, scarcity tends to get us in trouble.
It does. It does. Yeah, I'm in Ventura. So if you've heard of that, that's where I'm.
Oh yeah.
The location. I'm a little north there between Ventura and Ojai. And
yeah, I know exactly where you are. I've done many Airbnbs right there.
Yeah, I'm in an Airbnb, and well, sort of. It's going to become an Airbnb, but so I'm here, and that's what's happening. And it's a big deal to get up and go. It was a big deal to leave Arizona, and now I'm here, and now it's
transitions are a big deal for you, it sounds like. Do you know what your birth was like? Do you know what your fertilization was like? Do you know
yes, I can tell you. I mean, a month before I was conceived, my dad and my mom and my brother were flying, and my dad was the pilot, and over Sedona, which is a vortex, the engine quit, and he had to land on the highway. And it was a really gnarly situation where they almost didn't make it, but no one was hurt. And my mom had been trying to get pregnant for a long time. And so a month after that, I was conceived. And then my due date was like June 15th, but I was 2.5 weeks late. I was in there for almost 10 months. And I was born on the 4th of July. I guess I was meant to be born on the 4th of July. And I was
just noticing that you were 2.5 weeks late, right? That you didn't want to be born. You didn't want to transition then. Were you what's the word I want? I was the same thing. Were you did you naturally go into labor, or were you induced?
It was natural.
Okay, great. Yeah, and your story about conception is lovely too. I'm guessing that you, maybe like me, your mom's cycle was totally thrown off by all the stress of that previous month.
I don't know, but I think when you face death in the eye, like she did, and you survive that, it's like can bring forth life. It was a push to to say yes to life, basically. And
Yes,
that's,
so you could say in both places. I really got into it. In many ways, it was like a very tight, pressured situation of move forward or die.
yeah, she was facing, it was a very intense situation. My dad landed the plane without anybody getting hurt. He landed on the highway and there were cars on the highway and the cars got out of the way and without crashing and everyone survived. And then I was conceived a month later.
So I want to encourage you that you don't have to keep repeating this history of transitions.
Oh, okay.
It's like leaving the last house, you went through something similar. Pressure, pressure, pressure. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So you can do this differently.
Yeah.
You can choose to flow differently in time and space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not much else more to do with that. I'm introducing these things for you to play with.
Is there anything else coming up about just the wonderful things in store for me?
We've gone over a whole bunch. I know Henry's got to run in a moment. Can you just
Okay.
let's have Iridescent say, and then let's wrap it all up and let's reintroduce ourselves. Go ahead, Iridescent.
Yeah, I just have like a couple questions that were being channeled for me that I feel like may be fun for you to maybe ponder on and may activate some deeper insights into your intuition. But simply, I kept hearing you repeat this needing to prepare for something or figure it out. And so I invite you to ask yourself, what necessarily are you needing to figure out? And what are you preparing for? Because I feel like that is going to be the root and the key into what is really activating your mind through this process. So reflect on those if you feel called to.
Well, it's just about moving forward with my life and finding my home and settling into a home, finding my community, finding my people.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So that's like one part of the answer. And now you get the fun part, what Susy was saying about direction. You get to decide what direction that goes in. You get to co-create with the universe now exactly what your dream home is, what your dream community looks like, who you're wanting to attract. And then you simply just allow yourself to be open to that, to come into yourself. But you already have it. Your soul already has it figured out. It's already guiding you in the exact direct way. So that's kind of the conundrum, right? Is there isn't actually really anything to figure out or prepare for because you're already in the perfect space for that container.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Thanks so much, Dee, for leaping in.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for making time.
Yeah,
for
and
me
a
at the
panel
end.
where we had time to give you a bunch of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, panel.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I put information in the chat about our upcoming events, and I'll put again the link for filling out the feedback form. If you give us feedback, including your email address, we will put you in a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. And you'll also be able to hear from all of us about our specials and other things we have going on. All right, I've already listed some of the upcoming events earlier tonight, so let's go ahead and check out. Maybe let me say just Henry's information since Henry had to take off already. Henry India Holden does Ecotherapeutic life coaching, tarot, spiritual healing. HenryIndiaHolden.com. That's HenryIndiaHolden.com. Henry at HenryIndiaHolden.com. Or text 206-790-2331, and they have a free 30-minute conversation to see if you're a good fit. So enjoy connecting with Henry. Thanks so much, Henry, for being on the panel. And the rest of us get to check out. Who wants to go first? Susy.
Now I have to find my cursor. Okay. I'm Susie Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing. You can find me at bluelightninghealing.com. You can use the code MeWe20 to get 20% off of any session that I have on my website. I am a channel and an energy healer. I connect with your guides. I help you connect with Source in those accessible ways that helps you feel, well, connected. I also have office hours in Edmonds on Thursday, so that means tomorrow. So if you're in the area, you can set up an appointment and we can talk together too. Thanks so much. I'm so grateful for everybody. This has been a wonderful, wonderful time. Thanks.
Thanks, Susie. Sadie or Iridescent.
Hi there, I'm Sadie. I'm with Healing Sacred Feminine. I am really passionate about supporting the clearing of ancestral trauma from our own personal experience and from the land, and I do this in a number of ways. I offer a variety of healing sessions, utilizing shamanic practices and real earth-based spirituality practices, and I offer programs, intensive programs, to really support this process because there's a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of energy to clear, and I use sound healing as well. I offer a variety of monthly community events to support us reconnecting to the earth, clearing the trauma, reconnecting to spirit and to ourselves. And it's just been really wonderful having this conversation with everybody this evening and talking about how to connect with the earth and how to get back in touch with our intuition, which is really it all works together. That disconnection from the earth is the disconnection from our intuition. So yeah, you can find out more about me at www.healingsacredfeminine.com. I'm offering 10% off of all of my single sessions right now if you use the code MeWe. And yeah, I thank you again. Thank you, Laureli. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for the questions and the connection and just great stuff tonight. So thanks.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's been lovely. Iridescent.
Hello, everybody. My name is Iridescent of Iridescent Tarot. I am an intuitive psychic. I use the tarot to help connect to universe, high power, your guides, my guides, whoever, and anything, and tap deeper into our intuition to help you feel more confident moving forward in your life, being the authentic divine creator that you are. And then I also offer dream porting, which is really getting to the root kind of our ancestral traumas I've experienced throughout life, things like that, to help bypass those, unlock them, integrate them so you can access the next level of your divinity and growth and expansion. So it's a lot of fun. It's utilizing real life magic. And if you use the code Iridescent, you will get 25% off any of the tarot readings of your choice that I offer, or you can type in Quantum Leap to get 25% off of a dream porting session and check that out. And in order to use those, you can reach me at my email, which is theiridescenttarot@gmail.com, or connect with me on Instagram, which is iridescent_tarot. I have more avenues online that you can reach me, but they are also undergoing a major evolution and transition right now. So I will provide all that updated information when I have it, but those are the best two places to reach me at this time. And I look forward to connecting with you all.
Thanks so much, Iridescent. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and body psychology coach. Read your eyes, read your body, read your soul, and answer questions about your path, how to help you grow to live a full life while you're here in this body. You can find out more about me at laurelishimayo.com. My sessions are about 40% off if you sign up soon from having been here at the panel. And I've got lots of other events coming up. Authentic relating events are listed in the chat, as well as all the other MeWe events and other fairs and things like that that I go to. Thanks everyone for coming here to the MeWe panel. We have lots of upcoming events, and you can learn about all of what we offer online at joinmeweonline.com or jointhefair.com. Those go to the same page on our website, and everything else is at mewefairs.com. Thanks so much. Deeply appreciate everyone being here doing this together in community. We get to do more, we get to grow more, right? We all get to learn and open and grow and support each other and make a bigger impact. I'm taking us all off spotlight for those of us that are left. Thanks so much, everyone.